like steel. Nothing's true, but it all feels real. Whispered words from a metal tongue, telling me I'm the only one. Do you want me, or just the design? Is it passion, or is it a lie? Synthetic pleasure, digital sin, selling emotions I don't believe in. No real love, just fantasy. Plug me in, set me free. Nothing's real, but it feels so right. So I'll stay here one more night. So I'll stay here one more night. Stick hearts don't break, they just replay. No pain, no scars, just a hollow display. No goodbye, no pain, no rush, just drowning in mechanical touch. Synthetic pleasure, digital sin, selling emotions I don't believe in. No real love, just fantasy. Plug me in, set me free. Nothing's real, but it feels so right. So I'll stay here one more night. So I'll stay here one more night. Hey, watch this here is a movie about a young kid who lives in a red place, and all day and all night and everything around is just red, like him inside and outside. Red is hoodie with a red little pocket and a red guitar, and everything is red for him and himself and everyone he sees, cause he's got no one who hears his pain. I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. I've got a red backpack with a red water bottle. Red is the shade of all that I draw. Red are the fields and all the clouds are too. I've got a skateboard and it rolls in red. Red are the dancers here that spin around. Red like my head was both inside and out. Red are the beats I'm making on my rhymes. Red are the stories that run inside me. I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. I wear a red cap with the red symbol. Red is the color of all that I dream. Red are the lights and all the streets are too. I've got a notebook and it's lined in red. Red are the runners here that dash around. Red like my sneakers both inside and out. Red are the lines I write and what I feel. Red is the heartbeat that drums inside me. I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. Put a pop, 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 I'm red. Nothing coming to problem solver, and in the corner quite the assaulter. But I didn't come here to take the stand. If we're taking shots, we're gonna do it firsthand. You can't step to me, not even verbally. I'm a student vulture in this cancel culture, and anything you say will be used to me and nothing but food. A circle and wait to consume. Feed me lies of innocence. To me, it's all indifference. You all end up the same. Food by any other name. me it's all indifference.
Frankie.
You all end up the same, food by any other name. By any other name. By any other name. By any other name. Now they call me the problem solver, and then the corporal quite the absolver. But I didn't come here to take the stand. If we're taking shots, we're gonna do it firsthand. You can't step to me, not even verbally. I'm a serene vulture in this castle culture, and anything you say will be used to me. Nothing but food, a circle and wait to consume. Feed me lies of innocence. To me, it's all indifference. You all end up the same. Food by any other name.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our best.
Republic. I like the sentiment of it. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, marry now at your expense.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it. Take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're going to have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to
Paul is hot.
I declare to be an outlaw.
All right, everybody. It is the Outlaw Radio Network for the 16th of August. Happy birthday to my son, Caleb.
Happy birthday, Caleb.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday to Isaac.
Happy birthday to Isaac a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 13th.
13th birthday?
No.
13th
of August.
13, right?
Yeah. No, he turned 23 on Thursday.
Well, I know, but you said 13th. I'm like, 13th birthday? Like, what?
The 13th of August.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going to be 2 months from right now?
Nobody cares about your upcoming vacations.
Where do you think I'm going?
It doesn't matter.
No,
You're
you
either
know
going
me
on a
pretty
cruise or
well.
you're going to Vegas.
Vegas, thank you very much. And I have a cruise booked in April as well. So it's a hard knock life, man, let me tell you.
Right.
Couple minutes, we'll bring on our good friend Frank Aquila. He's author of the book Sarah Palin Out of Nowhere, our conservative insider. So much to talk about. We normally talk to him the first Sunday of the month, but we had to push it back a little bit because of all the kerfuffle up north. So we'll spend a good half hour with Frank here in just a couple of moments. At the bottom of the hour, after we talk with Frank, we got to share with you the latest kerfuffle out of the north.
Well, as I pointed out on the little promo that I did for the show, I quoted you, Kevin.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I mean, I would tell you to go back and watch it because it really kind of worked out well. And what's the name of that song that you love so much, that intro for yourself?
I'm Glorious.
Glorious.
Yeah, Glorious.
I said the glorious Tara Simmons Files. Yeah.
How great of you to put me in the same boat with her. Anyway, we'll talk about that at the bottom of the hour. Because on Friday, the Ethics Commission released their decision about the 3 ethics violations against her.
Yes.
And again, we've been knee deep in this crap the entire time. So after we're done talking with Frank, we're going to double back around to this, tell you what the Ethics Commission said, how hard they hit her, And what's next? Because
and we're going to discuss what her supporters are saying about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that
I haven't
LSD
seen that, but
yes, you'll enjoy it, Tom. It is.
Yeah. I'm glad that illegal drugs are so plentiful in the north and that so many people are using them. And then next hour, Chris Gergen joins us from Vegas as we'll talk with Chris as he breaks down the what he perceives as the issues with the state Republican Party. He came out with some really strong language after primary night.
Yes, he did.
Talking about how Republicans are going to get rolled in the state of Washington. Chris is a Republican, and he has no druthers ripping apart the state Republican Party.
No, he doesn't pull punches.
No, he
That's
does
right.
not.
That's right. Well, and also after we're done talking with Chris, we're going to talk a little bit about James O'Keefe and his most recent investigation in the state of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have heard about that or not yet, but
No.
that was really fascinating to me because I will tell you, if there's one generalized topic I'm not going to take my foot off the gas pedal about, it's about how I personally believe not Muslims, but Islam does not mesh. It does not marry with Western society and culture. And what he showed in Minnesota goes to that point. So that'll be an interesting conversation as well.
Awesome. And then in the third hour, we'll do our first ever edition of Outlaw Voicemails, which I'm really excited. If you see on my screen, the Outlaw Voicemail phone number is there. You can call and leave your own messages. We'll play them as long as they don't suck. And we'll just, because some people want to be able to call and we don't have a call-in number. So you can call and leave a voicemail. We'll play your voicemail messages and give you a chance to be part of the show that way. Should we go to the phone lines? Not the phone line. Should we go to the video line? Let's bring on with us live from somewhere in a much nicer state than where we are, politically at least. He is the one and only Frank Aquila. Frank, our conservative insider. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Well, hey, thank you for having me, and I'm glad we're able to make it this time because last time I know there were some computer problems, and so I'm glad you straightened all that out.
Well, and Frank, here's the other issue. We have found ourselves as a show mired in the controversy of a state representative in the north end of our county who has gotten in trouble for a whole bunch of ethics violations. And we, of course, reported on them. And then all of her peeps came after us. And we've been called racists and bigots and
right-wing hate radio. That's
right-wing hate radio, and it's been an interesting few weeks on the show, Frank. I hope one day you can join us in studio. That would make me very happy.
That would be nice. Isn't it strange though that when you get close to the corruption that's taken place in various places, the ethics violations and people that are committing crimes, the more you get attacked. I mean, that's really what's happening. I mean, on a federal, state, local level, these people that are being caught with their hands in the cookie jar on a lot of things and doing things wrong, they just want to fight right back, and they feel like that they're almost entitled to go ahead and be able to do what's wrong, and nobody should have any oversight over them. And I really believe in the statement that Thomas Jefferson once said, and I stated here before, a government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take everything you have. And when you get people that basically are becoming rich off the government, they almost feel like, hey, well, I deserve it. And that's a sad thing. We got so many politicians out there that really feel like, well, I do what I do. So you know what, there's no harm for me to take what I'm taking. And it comes to insider trading, it comes to all that. I mean, just they feel like they're entitled. So,
and Frank, I think, we've talked enough over the years, and I'm not going to speak for you, but I bet you're going to agree. Like we don't care what the letter is next to somebody's name, right? When you are reaching out and grabbing on because maybe you know how the system works within the government and these NGOs, it makes the fraud so easy. And it seems like certain people, and I'm not even talking about a party here, but certain people within government are very happy to overlook it.
Not only in government, and I think you could put justice involved in that. I mean, Lady Justice is supposed to have a blindfold over her eye, and for the sole purpose of when you go to court, you rule based on the weight of the merits of the facts, and we've gone beyond that. We actually have activist judges out there, that want to go ahead and say, hey, they want to take their law in their own hand if they feel like they want illegal immigration to be here, and they want to protect and sneak somebody out to the back door. Well, they should be able to do so because I'm the judge.
Right, right. We
so
just saw a judge get prosecuted for that very set of actions.
So they become political activists in a robe, is what they become, and that's scary because that's not how our government's supposed to be operate. Where you have people in legislatives that say, "Hey, you know what? I'll fill my pockets." And I'll become bigger and powerful. And then you got people that are in the robes that say, you know what, I'm going to legislate from the bench. And that's not how our constitutional republic was supposed to be set up.
That's right. It is, at least for me personally, like it is very frustrating to see, and it didn't matter who was president, whether it was Obama, Biden, or Trump, to see a district court judge or a state appellate court step in and tell the president, you can't do this or that. Right. And it's really become a weapon for the left, especially now. It was before in Trump's last presidency, but now it seems like they're all on some, overdrive. And it's happening all the time. And, for folks like you, for folks like me who have studied the law and we understand how it's supposed to work, it just blows my mind, that the president institutes tariffs or puts some executive order on the table, and a judge in Hackensack, New Jersey decides, I don't like the guy, so I'm going to go ahead and rule against him. And I'm going to say, you can't do that. And when it comes to whether it's national defense or the country making its money through tariffs, and there are a lot of issues that have tariffs that are necessary because it equals out the playing field. And to watch them do that is just absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Well, I've been on this show now for a long enough time. I believe, Joe Lieberman was somebody that was of a fair mind. Here he was a vice presidential candidate. You had a presidential candidate in Tulsi Gabbard. Kevin and I, we always thought, hey, she's a darling, somebody that speaks truth. And she was ostracized by the Democrat Party, and she actually became in Trump's cabinet. And the voice of reason is none other than Senator Fetterman now. And
absolutely right. Yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised if these socialist Democrats out there that have taken, you got James Carville now actually literally stating that he would leave the Democrat Party if it literally goes to the socialist al-Said type candidates. And they keep pushing the party so much more left. That it's unrecognizable. And even these hardline Democrats, they're like, "Hey, I'm going to be a hardline Democrat, but I'm not going to go that far to where we're going socialist communist." And that's really where these people have taken it. There's a really fight within the Democrat Party, and it's scary that we even got to this point because we sent soldiers away to other countries to fight for what these socialist Democrat communists are really trying to bring now to the American government.
Well, and Frank, you need to look no further away than Washington State.
I think that's a long way from Frank.
One of our,
he's in Tennessee.
One of our former governors, Christine Gregoire, came out a couple of months ago and blasted Democrats in Olympia for their increase in taxes, their wasteful spending. We have a push going on for what they're calling the rich tax, which is income tax anybody with more than $1 million worth of assets. And Gregoire, who was in lockstep with Democrats as a Democrat governor, has now came out and blasted them. Last month, it was former Governor Gary Locke has done the exact same thing. We're seeing people that grew up in Democrat circles, ran in office, did the whole thing their entire lives now coming out and saying, man, these Democrats are going way too far. They've really just gone off the rails from what we would have considered, especially with fiscal spending, responsible.
Yes. And you look at it, not just over there in Washington, what you just described, but in California, the billionaire tax, and the taxes that Madani is over there trying to do in New York City. The Democrats are trying to pull. If you look at it from these liberal states, there's nobody really out there saying, hey, I want to move to this high tax state. Let me move there. People are trying to bail from these liberal states, and they're going to want to go to a more conservative state. Businesses, same thing. Businesses like, hey, why should I stay here? I don't know how many businesses have left California. I mean, hundreds of businesses have left California, and then the employees are going along with it. Hopefully, these employees don't go to these red states and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and continue to vote Democrat because we're not going to have a constitutional republic in the future. It's going to be something where the Democrats, they get control." I've always said they already set a plan. They didn't expect Trump to win. They thought, hey, with all these indictments against him, nobody's going to vote for him. We're listing him as a felon. You know what? If it wasn't for him winning, we wouldn't know how bad things were. We wouldn't know how much the deep state, what the Democrats planned. And it was all in place. Them opening up the border and just basically being Baghdad Bob, saying, hey, there's nothing going on here. As all these illegals came across the border, it was literally done for two reasons. Not because they care about Hispanic people or people from other countries. It's about power. They're using these people literally for two reasons: for votes and the electoral college. Because now you go ahead and you use the census. You have millions and millions of more people in Democrat states where the good people have left, the taxpayers have left. Well, they're going to go ahead and fill that void with illegal immigrants. They lied through their teeth. I was calling it out back when they were giving illegals driver's license. Oh no, they're not going to be able to vote. They're not going to be able to. Well, that's exactly what we're finding out. You know, they have been voting. They are getting registered. They are influencing our elections. And you got the people out there because you got ICE going out there, and now they're arresting people, sending them back, closing out the border. Everybody's a racist now. I'd say the racists were the two bozos that were in office that allowed the gates to be open during the Biden-Harris administration, because they used people. That they did not care about these people. It was about power, and they used the people, and they felt like, emotions. Let's get the emotions out there on people, how racist the Republicans are, because now we're shipping people who shouldn't be here to begin with. We're shipping them out.
Right. Well, Frank, here in Washington State, folks like yourselves, us here at Outlaw Radio Network, because we're knee deep into the political issues, like we have known for years and talked about the potential for somebody who's here illegally or undocumented to be able to vote. And people continually call us conspiracy theorists and everything else. Well, this summer, through a FOIA request, the head of elections for King County, which is Seattle, acknowledged the fact, like finally we had somebody on the other side of the aisle actually physically acknowledge it in an email as a result of this FOIA, that indeed, when you come here and you're illegal, right? As former law enforcement, you know this, right? We want people that are on our roads driving to have a license and know how to drive and pass their tests and everything, right? Well, they were coming here, and they're here. They're not allowed to vote for whatever reason. They are automatically registered to vote in Washington State when they get their driver's license. And then they'll sit there and look at us straight in the face and say, "There's no illegal voting going on. Illegal immigrants aren't voting." And then you have what happened here a couple weeks ago with our representative, our congressional representative from Washington State, who was referring to, now we all heard about what happened in, I think it was New Jersey, right? Where they came and said, oh, there was a computer error. And we actually, we sent out voter stuff to like 6,000 illegals. And then our local rep here immediately injected herself into the conversation. But yeah, it was only like 600 and something, right? Which, first of all, she has no idea how many people voted. I don't, and neither do they, unless they go through and compare the numbers. There has to be a way, and I would bet everything I have in this world that it is very easy for any state to look up and see who's a legal citizen and who isn't, and who has the right to vote and who doesn't, because they know how many times they had to click that button, but they're not going to do a dang thing to fix it. Because when the federal government comes to them and says, we want to audit your voter rolls, and what do they say? Here in Washington State, Nick Brown, our attorney general, sued the Trump administration for it, basically said, stick it. What do we do about that? Any ideas, Frank?
Well, remember the statement that Stalin, I believe it was Stalin that made the statement, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically it doesn't matter. It's not the amount of people who vote. It's just the matter of amount of votes that were counted by those who were counting the votes. And
right,
so,
right. I think a quote was something like, "It's not who votes, it's who counts the votes."
yes, yes. So I mean, when you look at Harris, I don't know how many states she won, but it'd be interesting to see the number.
She underperformed in all of them.
Yeah, well, in all the states that she did win, I believe nearly all, not all of them, but nearly all of them have no voter ID laws.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in California, again, when I lived in California, I could go into, first off, they post all the names of everybody who's voted and who hasn't voted. They have an idea of based on a ranking of 1 to 5, if how often you do vote. Mm-hmm. So you could actually just spend the whole day going from one place to another place to another place and just vote in various people's names. And you don't have to show any ID. It'd be Dave Smith in one place and Nick Jones in the next. I mean, you just keep voting. And, I mean, with all this transgender stuff, I guess you go over there and say you're Susie Smiley at the
That's what Tom does.
And then go back and vote as Bob someplace else, right?
Yeah, you know what? And then not only that, then you have all these ballots just get sent out to everybody. And we're finding out a lot of them get sent to the same parking lot, and somebody's there to collect them. I mean, people want to trust the voting system. And the only way that's going to happen is if literally Trump's saying, hey, you got to be able to show your ID. The Republicans are not proposing anything to disenfranchise anybody from voting. Of course, they want to say, oh, no, that's going to prevent. Not everybody has an ID. Well, you know what? You could get a government issued ID. I mean, you could go ahead and come in there with anything as far as a birth certificate or whatever you got. Mm-hmm. They allow people to vote, but you know what? They rather have there's be no accountability, just basically by word only. But then you got the hypocrisy of the Democrats stating that, hey, to come to our convention, you have to have an ID. Even Mondani saying with this, I don't know if you saw this, he's going to have these government grocery stores. And they said, well, how are you going to prevent people from coming outside of New York City and going in there? Well, they have to show their ID. Mm-hmm. It's like an oxymoron. How you talk out of both sides of your mouth. You say some people have to show ID for some things, but then people don't have to show their ID for other things. And you know what they're doing. They basically want to rig the system so that they can win elections. And that's really what it comes down. It comes down to power.
Well, I think on the basis of ideas, right? Debating ideas and stuff like that. I think that's why. And listen, I don't think there's anybody in the country right now who knows politics who can't look at the Democratic Party and go, there's a civil war going on within their party right now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I compare it to if the Republican Party allowed the Pat Robertsons of the world to take over. You know, it's if you're going to go that far to the right and your platform is going to become your religious texts, okay, we got a problem. Right. And we recognize that. And as such, Republicans have never allowed that to happen. You know, I see a lot of people right now comparing the Democratic Socialists of America to the Tea Party. And I'm just saying they are nothing alike.
Nothing
at all. Not even comparable.
Hey, the Democrat Socialists of America, they're not going to have a peaceful protest and pick up all their garbage and leave after they're all done. They're going to be vandalizing, tearing apart something, beating up people. I mean, the Democrat Socialists of America, they're a violent mob. They're basically an Antifa type of group. They're not nice.
Now we're seeing them win more and more often, and to me that kind of gets my feathers ruffled a little bit because again, growing up in the '80s, Generation X, right? We were the kids who grew up having to crawl underneath our desks because somebody told us that would protect us from a nuclear blast, right? But we understand, I think, at least better than millennials, Gen Z, and others. We have a grip on this idea that communism bad, and socialism is just simply the first step to it, right?
Communism light.
Yeah, there you go. Communism light. Yeah. Tom.
But again, so we got to, with the socialists and the communists out there, which there's not too much difference, as you're just mentioning. Hey, the communism light. When you get a group of people or a new generation that feels like they're entitled, the government owes me. That mentality comes through. They think, hey, socialism's good. Hey, everybody go ahead and everybody should be equal. and everybody should be making the same amount. They don't realize it doesn't work. It's failed over and over and over again. And so, that's where you destroy a country. And I don't know who's made this quote, but they said you could vote yourself into socialism, communism, but you'll have to shoot your way out of it.
Yes.
So, and so, I mean, I don't know who said that, but
I don't know, but it's true.
But any government that has total control over the people. I mean, look what's happening even in Iran. The Iranian government. That's not what the people want.
No,
They try to protest it, and
yes.
I don't know how many people got killed.
Listen, Iran is the perfect representation of what happens when a government disarms its society.
Yes.
Yep. Hey, Frank, really quick, my thought with the election questions you and Paul were talking about is why doesn't the federal government just get involved in the elections? I've heard it said, well, they can't because it's a state thing.
Are you suggesting federalizing the elections?
Federalizing the federal part of the elections. And I know that there's the 10th Amendment, but there's also the Interstate Commerce Clause. It says anything that goes across state lines is the property of the federal government. And you're casting a vote for the president of the United States, which would certainly to me seem to imply going across state lines. Why couldn't the federal government just come in and say, why couldn't Trump just come in and say, well, look,
I actually have an answer for you.
These are the rules that we want the federal elections to follow. And you state people can do whatever you want to with whoever you want to let vote, whatever the guidelines are, mail it in, whatever you want to do. But for federal elections, these are the rules we have in place for federal offices. And I guarantee the states will fall into place because they don't want to pick up the cost that the federal government is subsidizing to conduct the elections. If they've got to pay for their own state and local elections, they're gonna cave in and do what the feds want because they don't want to fund it themselves. Paul?
Well, I was just going to say that a similar question was asked this weekend at the political rally that I was at, and one of the answers, if I understood it correctly, one of the issues on this, and I think Frank might be able to speak a lot more eloquently on this, but we don't actually cast votes for the president.
Right, Electoral College.
The Electoral College does, and they have very different rules. So,
but again, it comes down to federal offices. Frank, am I off base of thinking that the federal government should just step in and say, if you guys want to have holes in your elections, state and locally, if you want to accidentally let illegals vote, that's on you because of the 10th Amendment. But when it comes to federal offices, representatives, senators, president, these are the rules we're going to follow because we have to have consistency state to state on who go. Because like in Washington state, convicted felons can vote for president. In Texas, they cannot. Like in this country, the rules should be the same across the board for who can and can't vote.
Hey, in Washington state, a convicted felon can tell the cops they don't have the right to pursue a suspect.
By the way, in just a couple of moments, we'll talk some more about our favorite convicted felon, Tara Simmons.
I was say a convicted felon can be elected to state office.
That's right.
More power to her. Yeah. But Frank, am I off base?
No, you're right on base. I think there ought to be minimal guidelines into what our federal government should be doing, and that's what Trump's trying to do with the SAVE Act. He's just saying, hey, all we want to do is make sure every state has the basic foundations. You have to show an ID. You know, how the states want to run their elections and everything like that. Yeah, that's all up to the individual states. But there has to be minimal security guidelines. And so Trump, I think this last time I came on here, I raised the point that I wouldn't be surprised that Trump ends up doing is saying, hey, you know what? You want to use the voter ID, mail votes? Well, if you can't turn over your voter rolls, then you're not going to use the postal system, and that's exactly what he ended up trying to do. Which you have various judges again, activist judges saying, "Oh, you can't do that." So I mean, that may get in front of the courts. One thing that I think that may be happening, if it comes down to it, Trump can actually state that he's going to make because of foreign interference, he's going to make our elections in the midterms a national security.
National security issue?
Yes. And if he does that, I think he has powers that go beyond the courts and goes beyond the legislature. He's calling for a national security, and he's going to say, hey, here's what the rules are based on the fact that we know that other countries are trying to interfere with our elections, and he's got the proof. And what happens with that, I don't know. But you know what? He's trying to avoid that. He's trying to say, hey, let's just, as Kevin, as you were mentioning, Kevin, we want to just have basic rules in place that really is supported by a majority of people from any political party. You got common sense Democrats out there and say, yeah, why shouldn't we have people showing their ID? And so, I mean, it works in, I think, 32 or 34 states that we do have voter ID. Yeah. I actually voted over here in Tennessee in the primary. And I'll tell you what, they very extensive, very good. That they check your name out. You have to fill out a paper. You fill out the paper, then you bring it over to the next set of person that verifies you are registered to vote. You haven't voted, and they give you your ballot. And I thought, wow, here I am.
It's like, holy cow! I just went into Oz, man.
Yeah, I left Corruptifornia where basically I could say whoever I want and give me a ballot for, hey, give me one for myself and my dog too. And then I go over here where it actually there's a lot of security features. And why shouldn't there be security features? Why should, if you have people that have died in the battlefield to create the benefit of having this democratic republic of our country to literally shed blood, then you could go ahead and have voting on one day. You shouldn't have voting month. You shouldn't have it. Basically anybody who wants to get a mail-in ballot. Now, granted, there's certain people that should maybe get a ballot because maybe somebody's sick in the hospital. Maybe you got our military overseas. Mm-hmm. They get their military ballot. There's occasions for certain groups of people.
And that's why we have absentee voting.
Absolutely.
Which is a whole nother system set up specifically for individuals. So yeah, you're there. Let me ask you this, Frank. We've all been watching the debates going on in DC. What in the hell is the Republicans' problem with not passing the SAVE Act? Why are we seeing Republicans not slapping their John Hancock on that thing and getting it passed?
I believe it has to do with John Thune. I think, you know what, he wants to blame. Well, we don't have 50 votes. Well, maybe you don't have 50 votes. Maybe you don't have Lisa Murkowski, Thom Tillis. You don't have Mitch McConnell. Who knows where he is? And possibly don't have Susan Collins. Well, there's 4 votes right there. I think the Republicans have I think they have 54 senators right now, right?
Yes.
So if you got 54 and you lose those 4, you're still at 50. You'll pass it. You could pass it through the Reconciliation Act.
Yes,
right?
You should still be able to. Yeah, you should still be able to find a way to pass it. That's what I don't understand. I don't.
So that's one avenue. Well, that's one avenue. But the other avenue, do the old-fashioned talking filibuster. Shut everything down and say, okay, you want to shut down the government for everything. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead. You guys can filibuster. You guys can go ahead and keep talking and talking and talking. And then we'll go ahead and have a vote at the end. You do an old-fashioned filibuster. For whatever reason, John Thune has basically been a flea in a dog's ear, really just not really doing what he should do as a majority leader to push things through. And that's just the recess appointments as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you had any idea what his motivation may be.
You know what? I think he's kind of a John Cornyn type of Republican. He's a Mitch McConnell type of Republican. I've heard this. I don't know if this. I haven't verified this, but somebody was saying that John Thune's married to a Democrat woman. I don't know what the issue is with it.
I got the golden. Yeah, I got you.
But it's like, you know what? If you are the Republican leader, it's your job to push the Republican agenda. And if you have 50 senators that are willing to vote for something, and this is something that's an issue that 85% of Americans agree with, push it.
And that's what the statistics are showing us. That's what the polling data is showing. I mean, that's why I'm like, it blows my mind. I'm like, I understand if you're concerned about your reelection coming up here at the midterms, and we can't forget the midterms are coming up. But to me that puts more emphasis on it, doesn't it?
The Senate's a mess. I mean, they came in. I mean, the House has already passed the whole, finished daylight savings time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Senate's holding that up too.
Yeah,
that's not a difficult vote, people.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of it because I get an extra hour of sleep every fall.
Yeah, bite me,
no, it's got to go. Do you know what that stupid tradition costs in productivity every 6 months?
Our children need to pay for it the same way we did. They need to suffer right along with us.
No.
Frank, I want to ask you one other question, then we're going to wrap this up because we still got to talk about our favorite subject, Tara Simmons. So by the way, if you're tuning in for that, and I can tell a lot of you are, just stamp at it's coming. Frank, listen, I don't know if you're following what's going on with the Navy and the issues with the carrier. Obviously, the Abraham Lincoln, there's a lot of reports coming out about issues with sailors on board that are trying to jump off the ship. The deployment's too long. The conditions are miserable, ... As a former Navy guy, Frank, I'm really torn.
And we don't hold that against you, Kevin.
Why don't you just jump off a bridge? As a former Navy guy, Frank, I'm not. I'm really torn on this. On one hand, it does sound like there's some issues with supplies on board. It does sound like that there's been some food challenges. There's been some operational challenges, and through the Department of War, at least, a strong issue with just failure to communicate effectively. But this nonsense about how they've spent, hold on, let me double check. So far, as of earlier this week at least, they've been out to sea for 230 some odd days. Oh, sorry, 240 days at sea.
That's a long stretch.
Well, but here's the issue, guys. And Frank, I want to put this in perspective. Limits. Okay, the ship
that's a nuclear-powered carrier.
The ship that I was on, the ship that I was stationed on, in 20 and 21, they spent 321 days at sea. In 17 and 18, they spent 300 days at sea. In 2002 and 2003, they spent 210 days at sea. In 79 and 80, they spent 260 days at sea. This is not abnormal. So is this, Frank, is this an issue with the administration effing stuff up? Is this the media playing up something that doesn't really exist? Or is our military in such straits that we're not training these men and women to be prepared for the service in which they are committing to serve in?
I think it's the new generation.
It might be. Frank, what do you think?
I think it's a combination of the new generation, and I also think the media hyping it up. You might have a group of people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's jumping off the ship. But you just made your home point there, Kevin, because you're talking about 300 and something days on various trips. I didn't know about those numbers, but you know what I mean? If this is what you signed up for, I mean, I could see people jumping off the ship and, like, hey, we've been attacked. We're under attack. We're seeing blood in the water from fellow soldiers. We're scared. That's not the case here. Mm-hmm. I mean, by and large, I mean, there's been a couple casualties. There's been, but not. I don't think overseas there on the ships there's been any casualties. They've only said that guys have been winning.
Yeah, they've only said that there are on the Abraham Lincoln. They said that 6 guys at random points have tried to jump off the ship. I'm going to remind you, there's 5,000 at minimum people on one of these ships, between the normal sailors that are stationed on the ship and then the people that are on the air wings and the strike control staff. So there's about 5 grand. So you're talking 6 out of 5 grand.
Yeah. That basically you're talking about 1% of 1%.
Yeah.
Just basically, I mean, just you got 6 guys out of 5 grand. I mean, I don't know what these guys are, what they're thinking. I have no idea. It's like I mean, even here in public, you get a city of 5,000 people. You're going to find a couple people who want to commit suicide and jump off a bridge. So I mean, you could have people that are just I don't know, drinking some funny stuff and thinking that they want to fall into the arms of a mermaid. I don't know. I mean, but of course, the media is going to hype it up. Yep. And and you have this generation of entitlement. People that probably shouldn't even be in the military that got in there, because they they have 2 earlobes on one side of their face, and they felt like they were needed. I don't know. I mean, you got people that really don't belong there, but it is what it is. You got a small group of people that maybe they just want attention, or maybe they're trying to make a political point for the media. And how does the media even know about this, and how much is it hyped up? I mean, how much of it is it even true? I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out. You know why, Frank? That Abraham Lincoln just got its home port assigned to Bremerton.
Okay.
So in our county, that ship's coming back here. So we'll hear things. We'll hear things for sure. Frank, are you going to join us on the first Sunday of September, with it being Labor Day weekend, or do we need to push you back to the 13th, or do you want to let me know?
Let's do either day. Either day would be fine. I know in first Sunday in October, I won't be able to be with you. I'll have to do the second Sunday. So it's up to you. If you want to do second Sunday in September and then
Let's do the first Sunday in September, because we've got a really cool nonprofit that's going to join us on the 13th. Plus, it'll be the day after I kick everybody's butt at the Derby race and retain my title. So, Frank, we love you, man. Thanks for your flexibility the last couple of months. I know it's been crazy with election stuff going on. We're almost to the finish line of that, at least this cycle.
Beautiful. All right, guys.
Awesome, buddy. We love you, man. Frank Aquila, author of the book Sarah Palin Out of Nowhere. You can find that on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all the other good places the books are sold. And thanks for being our longest time guest and bestest friend, man. We appreciate you.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. There he goes. Frank Aquila, everybody. All right. I just want to, before we move on to terror, I do want to say this. I'm not ripping on Navy folk at all. Like, being deployed on a ship is hard. I just want to put this into perspective. The fact that these deployments they're long, but they're not out of the ordinary for Navy ships, especially when you're in the middle of combat operations. Now, there are some other questions about whether or not the military is prepared for all the stuff they've got going on. We keep hearing reports about shortages on certain kinds of missiles and stuff like that. And I do think the Navy could do a much better job communicating with its sailors and their families about what to expect. But I just don't get the impression that 240 days at sea is so much different than what any other deployment, not any other, but what some other deployments have been in the past, and we haven't heard this. I wonder if Trump wasn't the president, if we would have the same veracity of news coming out about this, and I don't think so. Unless it was the end of the Biden administration, then it would have been just because it was fun to dogpile on Biden, which is a cool thing to do on your Friday night if you got some rum raisin ice cream.
And pancakes.
And John, what's his name? Mitch McConnell, I guess, is doing the ice cream trip with Biden now, too, by the way. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's important to recognize when you enlist and you're in the military, you shut the fuck up. Like,
kind of,
because even look, I get it that the Navy deployments are long.
Mm-hmm.
So is being in the Army and sitting in a foxhole for 12 months. It's not easy on anybody. But we live in a world now where somebody, whether it's a kid in junior high, posts a picture of his school lunch and says, our lunches are terrible, right? Which is a lot of the pictures that we're seeing coming out. My God, look what they fed the sailors. Listen, there is a physical reason why some things have had to been changed. I don't know if people are aware of it, at least in general. But are you guys aware that the U.S. Navy's main supply base got hit by drones? So the Navy had to change where their munitions and food was stored.
Are you talking about in the Middle East?
Yes.
Okay.
Now the U.S. Navy has to go to the British base on Diego Garcia to get their supplies, which is 2,200 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff happens. If you're not adult enough, if you're not soldiery enough to understand,
you have such good manners.
Off. Watch this. Ready? Should we do the test?
By the way, the Lincoln is now up to 260 days deployed. 20 more days than the last one I said, but I just wanted to make sure the right number.
It's okay. I get it. I just don't care. If you're a sailor and you're going to complain about being deployed, suck the snotty end of Kevin's muscle.
Well, now,
I mean it. No, because the U.S. Army personnel or Marine Corps who are on shore duty, right, who are in a combat zone are deployed a hell of a lot longer. Well, and you can't tell me that a sailor sitting in that boat, nice and safe out to sea. And I don't mean safe in a they're completely safe. They are in a combat zone, right? So there's risk. But you are not an infantryman sitting in a foxhole or a trench. You're just not.
No.
And there's no equivalence.
They have a USO center on the ship where they have access to the internet. They have access to Wi-Fi, video games, movies,
so let's just be clear.
They can be in touch with their family.
Right. I don't know how much, because again, I never served during any kind of combat operations because, well, I just, I wasn't on a ship for combat operations, but I don't know if they limit that when they're in theater. I don't know how that works. But the point is there's gyms on the ship, there's dining services on the ship. They have a Navy exchange on the ship. There's plenty of things on the ship. Now, again, it's not like being at home. I get it. You miss your fam. I get it. It sucks. But I do agree with you, Paul, that when you're out to sea, you shut your mouth, man.
Right. That's my
morale
point.
is morale. You cannot be a guy on that ship bitching and complaining about how long you've been out there, because every other person on that ship has been out there as long as you have. Shut up. Do your job. It's what you enlisted for. You knew this was coming.
Well, and we live in a world of the internet where a sailor, if they have a big enough following, right, can draw instant attention to themselves and what they believe to be some, injustice or whatever, just by making a post on social media.
Yeah.
And we live in a world right now that is so politically divided. Let's be honest. They take advantage of that. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Right. It's not like guys didn't do that while Biden was president. I'm sure some people did. If I'm a captain of a carrier and I got a sailor or 4 or 5 making comments like that and they're going public, I'm going to get them to fuck off my boat. There's no quarter asked, no quarter given. Just get them the hell off.
But the problem is you can't do that.
I know. I understand
because then somebody else is going to see, they bitched about it, so they got off the boat and suddenly go from a staff of 5,000 to a staff of 3.
You're 1,000% right. But I'm talking about it from a mental standpoint. Like, get that dude F off, right? Like, I don't want him on my boat. He's affecting morale and other things. And operational security. OPSEC's a big issue. And I know that a former member of the show contacted us and said that he was all bent out of shape about this stuff that's going on. And this is a guy who just assumed wipe his ass with Donald Trump, Trojo, than anything else. So
I'd pay to see that.
So,
actually.
I specifically reached out and, well, what exactly is your issue? No response.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Again, I think it's a Trump issue more than it is anything else. And again, saying this as a guy that served, as a guy that walked a carrier flight deck, as a guy that knows what it's like in those tight little berthing areas, it sucks. It's not fun. It's not supposed to be fun. You're in the military. You're serving your nation. And there's things that can be done to make it better or make it worse. I'll give you that. But the length of this deployment, while longer than I would think average, does not even get into the 300-day range that we saw 3 years ago that nobody complained about. Let's just relax and let's stop. This is why we better not ever go to war, guys. Because if we ever went into a world war,
okay.
If we ever went into a world war,
okay, I'm glad you're specific because you're like, if we ever go into war, well, we are.
The media would undermine us at every single step.
Yes. Which
Do you
is
think
why,
so?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, they're doing it now in an unimportant war in Iran. And I say unimportant
because it's unimportant.
I don't.
If we had a real conflict, like World War II level conflict, Vietnam level, Vietnam, the media was not great.
I wish I shared your optimism, but I think that
I'm not being optimistic. I'm being curious.
Yeah, I
think they'd bury it.
Yeah, I think that the media right now is so divided because they are no longer media to be media. They are a for-profit media, right?
Right.
I think that they would exploit the political divides in this country for the sake of making money,
and
they would hurt.
Well,
us.
they do that now.
Yeah,
and I think the federal government would have to intervene and exert control over the media.
How do you do that with the First Amendment?
National security.
But it's been done. Obama did it.
Yeah. It's been done. Yeah. And national security will trump it. You can suspend some things under national security.
Obama had passed this, did an executive order that made it so that you couldn't be within 100 yards and say anything negative about the president someplace where he was speaking publicly. In other words, keep the protesters out of sight, out of mind.
He had such a sensitive skin. So, hey, I want to talk about this really quick. And nobody's waiting to hear about it. We're going to get into it now. We'll get into it in the third hour of the show as well, because I guarantee you the next 10 minutes will not suffice for the amount of joy that I have in my heart tonight for what the Ethics Commission did in regards to our good friend Tara Simmons. A reminder, this segment brought to you by Paulsbo for All. Paulsbo for All directing hundreds of people to this show every single week so you little sons of bitches can keep tabs on what we say.
Can you
Get
please
a pen
be
and
careful?
paper.
I'm tired of getting accused of having a hit list.
Get a pen and paper and write this stuff down so I only have to say it once. Here we go. Tara Simmons on Friday was announced as the fine recipient, Tara, we're so proud of you, of 3 $5,000 fines for ethics violations. Now, why was it $5,000, you ask? Not because they hit her light in the wallet, because they hit her as hard as they could in the wallet. These were maximum level fines, the highest amount the executive, that the ethics committee can give on somebody for ethics violation. Oh, but wait, there's more. She also has to pay what it costs for the state for the attorneys. Yeah. So it's not just going to be $15,000. I don't know what the attorneys are going to charge. I would bet it's more than $15,000 because this was a pretty long term, like almost like a trial kind of proceeding that they had with Tara, where she testified and other people testified. So all the crap that Tara's been talking for the last however many months, this is nothing. There's nothing to see here. There's no smoke, no fire. I did nothing wrong. Everything is fine. I had no malfeasance. I didn't violate any ethics. Is all a lie. 100% a lie. Now, the fine folks in the North End that are sticking up for her, here's my favorite argument they pulled out. Well, there was other stuff they cleared her of because they considered the evidence, but they found her guilty on these 3 things because they didn't consider the evidence. Bitch, please. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, well, we threw these 3 out because they listened to the evidence, but they ignored the other 3 because they didn't watch the... Listen, there's serious issues out of the Tara Simmons camp on the North End. If I'm Daria Elgin right now, I'm literally dancing a happy dance in the street. And if I'm Tara and her associates, I'm literally figuring out how to salvage this. Because if you watch the North End pages, the Bainbridge Island page, the Kitsap, the 23rd District LD page, they are literally on her like black guys on a casting couch. Sorry, it's a meme. If you've seen the meme, you've seen the meme. I'm just quoting memes. Okay, I can't believe you just. I can't either. I'm sorry, that was out of line. No, it wasn't. The fact is, everybody on the North End is now losing their damn mind. Hold on, Lori's going to want to give an HR clearance here. Go ahead, Lori.
Just one moment. Kevin's views are only Kevin Chambers' views.
And I made that joke?
I think Kevin meant to say black light on a casting couch.
That's exactly what I meant to say.
And that is exactly what Kevin has
that is what I meant
personal experience with.
Here's why I said that. I subscribe to a Photoshop Facebook page where people post their photos and they say, do something Photoshoppy with the photo. Okay. So this one girl was like, put me in a nice ball gown. And then all these random strangers on the internet Photoshop her into a ball gown. But there's always somebody who takes a photo of the hot girl, puts her on a white casting couch with 5 black guys behind her. True story. And that is an internet meme that is all over the place on these Photoshop pages. So I was just thinking about what is something that I've commonly seen a lot of lately. And that was it. Taking this back full circle to pull my foot out of my mouth.
You need to keep your freak at home.
Everybody, wait, don't judge what I watch in my free time. Bead girl. What's going on in the North End is that everybody in their mind is all over this. And what I'm seeing is a deteriorating public support for Tara. There was somebody who posted, and I'll read this in the 3rd hour, who basically said, Tara, you lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
And she went into detail about it, how she had a fundraiser for Tara at her house.
Yep.
That Tara said that none of this stuff had any credence. It was all going to go away. That there was
a witch hunt.
Nothing to talk about. There was a witch hunt. Guess what? It wasn't a witch hunt. It was all there. And by the way, there's more ethics complaints coming. You think this is the tip of the iceberg, folks? You're absolutely incorrect.
It is the tip of the iceberg, is what you mean.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. This is the tip of the iceberg. If you think this is everything, you're wrong.
Correct.
There's so much more stuff coming. And by the way, folks, If you're at home thinking, well, but Tara's the incumbent, maybe I could. What? Yes, Tom.
Unfortunately, my schedule today didn't give me a chance to sit down and write, but I actually wanted to sit down and organize my thoughts on this, right?
Okay.
Because I agree it's the tip of the iceberg. But I don't think the iceberg's name is Tara Simmons. I think the iceberg is much bigger than that. I think she's just a glacier on the iceberg.
Yep.
I agree with you, but probably from a different perspective.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, if you look at the behavior of the extreme left, of the Democratic Party
In Washington.
On the West Coast.
Okay.
I mean, not even just Washington, the whole West Coast.
But there's a bigger issue here, Tom, and here's my issue.
Well, this is a huge issue, though, because I mean, I think the whole of the West Coast has got this corruption issue, like deep. No, I think we, the people, we taxpayers, are getting fucked.
I agree.
And
but here's the problem.
I haven't gotten a reach around yet. I'm getting tired of being fucked.
Yeah, and we need to take a step back for a second, Kevin, because we went from it's just the tip to deep. So let's take a moment.
So deep, put her butt to sleep.
Yeah, I think that it's important, Tom, to finish your thought. What is it exactly that you were trying to say?
All I heard was Tom wants a reach around.
Well, if I'm going to get fucked, yeah, I mean, at least, a little courtesy, please.
Well, I think what Tom, I think what you
want a happy ending.
I think what you were saying, Tom, is that it's a systemic issue
within a certain part of the Democrat Party. I think this is an example of behavior that we can probably, if we dig deep enough, I think we can find this behavior with more than just Tara Simmons.
Okay, hold on. You're right. But do me a favor. I want to stay on this Tara subject for a minute, because I think you're right. We can attribute this out to a lot of Dems all over the place, but we have one in our backyard.
Yeah.
That we have validated, proven, vetted proof of ethical violations about her giving money to places that money shouldn't have been given. We have a lot of other accusations that have been made against her, and we know that other ethical complaints are coming. So while I respect what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, the fact of the matter is I do not want to ease up on the Tara front and say, well, this is a Democrat issue, because for me right now in this county, in this election cycle, this is 1000% a Tara Simmons issue. And I feel like if we allow it to become this is a Democrat issue, we're somehow taking here's an analogy you fuckers are going to love. We're going to take our foot off the back of Tara's head to span it out over all Democrats. And I want to maintain the pressure on Tara, because she's the one with the accusations. She's the one that was found guilty. She's the one that was fined. She's the one up for re-election against a really talented challenger who's going to give her a run for her money, especially now when the truth has come out. And I don't want to deflect off of her to all Democrats.
I agree.
And her front and center.
And I don't want to. I don't want to go all Democrats, right? Because I mean, we've met some really good Democrats. I mean, most recently, Daria. I think Daria is great. I like Matt Macklin. I mean, I can come up with more Dem names that don't fit this.
Another local Dem that won't support Tara. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I like Hanny Baxter. Who's
I love Hanny to death.
Yeah,
I mean,
person.
I mean, I can come up with more names of Dems that don't deserve this behavior or whatever, or this I don't know, this
shit show,
this inspection, this deep examination. But I think 75% of the party in this state, and probably as much in California and Oregon, don't reelect more Democrats.
Okay, but hold on. Listen, I hear you.
I'm liking what he's saying. He's good.
No, hold on. I hear you, and I don't think you're wrong. But here's the problem, Tom. The problem is on the north end and the 23rd. That's all they're going to have a choice to vote for is Democrats. They're going
to vote fine. They have a great Democrat up. I mean, Daria is perfect.
Right. But when we talk about don't vote Democrats, in the 23rd, they got two Democrats. They got Tara and they got Daria, right?
Yep.
So the question for me is, because I really want to, I want to stay drilled into this 23rd race. because the issues in the 23rd race is that we have this is my opinion, and my opinion alone. You guys can back this if you want to, but I speak only for myself, not for everybody on the show or our advertisers.
As the CEO made abundantly clear.
But if you have a brain, I speak for you. We have a Democrat running in the 23rd district who I believe is unethical, who I believe has engaged in criminal conduct,
again,
who I believe has misappropriated funds, who I believe has violated public trust,
again,
and who I believe does not deserve the office in which she holds.
Again.
So now, again, if you have a brain, you agree with me. If you don't, you're probably subscribed to Paul's Vote for All and masturbate to photos of Mao Zedong. Fine. Okay? Whatever. Whatever. But the fact of the matter is, even if you take my opinion out of this, the facts are the facts. Tara Simmons lied. Tara Simmons violated ethics. Tara Simmons got fined, and there's more complaints on the way. Is that who you trust when you're figuring out what's going to happen in this state? By the way, this is the same person who ran as a convicted felon because she believed that she had
rehabilitated
herself, and she was going to help all the convicted felons. And what did she do when she got into office? She supported bills that gutted funding for programs for convicted felons. She doesn't even have integrity, folks. Like, it'd be one thing if she went to Olympia and she was like, no, I'm going to fight for these felon bills because that's who I was and that's what I ran for and that's what I told people I was going to do. She doesn't even have integrity, guys. I have more integrity in dating relationships right now than she does.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I've had a girlfriend for 6 months now, so that's far longer than the amount of time that we can even remotely claim that Tara's exhibited any integrity.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
To be honest, I'll give Tara her first term. Right, her first term was probably above board. It was probably clean.
And I don't want to say we were per se supporters, but we were handed packets of information about her criminal activity that we chose to not go public with. In fact, Kevin sat down, met with her to ensure her that she could come on and have a fair interview like we do with every single candidate when they first decide to run for office. Because for us, it's about an educated electorate. We want them to get to know the candidate and make their own choice based on what they hear and what they see. And besides, there was no way to talk to her about issues. She hadn't been in office yet. But as soon as Outlaw started asking the moderately uncomfortable questions, we got cut off at the knees. And listen, we talk about this all the time, right? When you're running for office or you're in office, and as soon as you decide that's not something I'm going to talk about, well, from a citizen journalist perspective, well,
yeah, we're going to dig.
It's going to make me dig more.
Yeah, we go and dig.
Yeah, we pulled out a backhoe. You know,
and the black light.
Yeah. And by the way, Matt Macklin does live in the 26th, I believe, but he is not a supporter of Tara Simmons, to the best of my knowledge.
We've heard that through the grapevine, but we don't know that that's true. We haven't talked about it.
I'm going to assume it's true because Matt Macklin's a smart dude. Robert says, and Robert, I'll take your word for it. You're plugged on this stuff more than I am. Tara Simmons helped gut the Crime Victims Fund.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? Because she's a goddamn criminal.
Well, she probably found a way to put some of that fund in her own pocket,
or in her projects at least. Listen, she's a criminal. Of course she doesn't support the Crime Victims Compensation Fund. She was making victims. She's still making victims today. You live in the 23rd. You're a victim.
Oh my gosh. So one of the listeners, John, just kind of put out there a new idea for a nickname, Fluffy and the Felon.
Fluffy and the Felon. Yeah.
I don't
disagree.
I dig it.
A couple
nothing wrong with a little alliteration.
Fluffy and the Felon.
Yeah.
Is Fluffy the dog?
The dog.
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just checking.
Yeah.
There is a comedian named Fluffy, so
yeah, it's true.
He's funny.
He's hilarious.
He is funny.
We got our good friend Chris Gergen on with us in about 30 seconds. Avgeek Joe says, please don't make all Dems to be Tara Simmons.
They're not. They're absolutely not. They're what? Kevin is a Dem.
Yep, I know.
Yeah,
Lori ran in the Democratic Party for what did you run for? State rep, right?
State rep,
yeah. State rep position too.
Yeah, I gave it about a 75%, 25% split.
Well,
because I think the party has really gone too far left.
Well, the party is in the midst, and this is my personal take, but they are really, truly in the midst of a civil war right now. And because I think reasonable, rational Democrats, and again, you'll hear me say this till with my dying words, a 2, 3, 4 party system is super important. Why? Because we need the ideas in the space.
Diversity. Isn't that what the Dems scream and yell about?
Diversity of ideas. And that's, of course, what we've seen, the problem that Washington State has run into. We no longer have diversity of ideas. We have one party's ideas, and that singular party that's in control of everything is going further and further and further to the left. You know, I mean, when we look at when Barack Obama was president, right? I personally battered some of his proposal ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I look at him and then compare him to Joe Biden. I'm like going, I'd have taken that dude back. You know, that's how far to the left we went. Hey, we went from the deporter in chief of President Obama to, well, let's just open the gates, you know?
All right, really quick. Couple other comments really quick. Lisa agrees with you, Tom. Terror is just a pawn of the game. Tom is right. The puppeteers are far higher than her. Dave McMullen, where should I display my trophy when I win the race, Kevin? There's no trophy.
Hold it.
There's a trophy, Dave.
Go back to that again. What was it? Tom's right again?
I'm sorry, I lost it already.
Tom's right again?
Kevin Nelson.
Again.
Hold on. No, it didn't say again. Terror is just a pawn of the game. Tom is right. The puppeteers are far higher.
Tom is right again. That's the conclusion I'm coming to. Is Tom is right again.
Touche, Tom.
Kevin Nelson, did anyone run a black light in the old KITZ studio after you guys vacated the space?
Only Kevin did.
Look at me.
And none of us heard the results.
And there's a good reason we didn't. All right.
It's clean now.
Kevin's guilty.
The old KITZ is now a tattoo studio.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it is very clean. It is very clean.
Yeah,
hermetically sealed.
Lots of Clorox.
Yeah, well, no, they use like hospital grade antiseptic. Because I know the tattoo artist.
I meant in the office space, but anyway.
Yeah. Robert says, and I'm going to challenge Robert, then we're going to get Chris on here. Robert says, Dari doesn't need a social and emotional support dog to show up for work. Funny how Tara doesn't need, nor are there pictures of her with prop mutt at the casino. Okay, so couple things.
Zingers.
Couple things. Robert, I'm going to challenge you if you're not already. I don't know because you and I don't talk. If you're not helping to motivate people in the 23rd that are Republicans to vote for Daria, because that's going to be some of the sway that district needs to have, right? Mm-hmm. If you're looking at Tara and you're a Republican and you just agree that she's evil as Hitler, then you have to get out and vote as a Republican for somebody other than her. And I know it makes it tough for Republicans to vote for a Democrat because of the bad taste it leaves in your mouth, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, that was either what's his name, Xing Tzu, or what's his name, Art of War,
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. Thank you. Shih Tzu's a dog, Paul.
Yeah, I know, Kevin.
Sun Tzu, or it was Spock. Anyway, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I really want Republicans in the North End to get involved and get behind Daria's campaign, and then you reevaluate once you see what Daria is doing, whether or not you can support him the next time around. But I think the important thing now on the 23rd is just send Tara on her merry way.
Yeah, let's put that in perspective for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally telling Republicans on the North End living in the 23rd, we've gone so far to the left. You need to vote for the moderate Democrat because he's grounded, he's reasonable, he's rational. It's not about electing the Republican candidate. There isn't one.
Yeah, there's not one.
And there's not going to be a Republican elected in the 23rd.
Not going to happen in the foreseeable future.
That's like a Dem being elected in the 35th.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't happening.
So either you want to see some movement in your district and you hold your nose and vote for the other Democrat if you're a Republican, or you pussyfoot around and you stay home and you don't vote, and then you piss and moan on Facebook about how bad things are, and yet you had the opportunity to change it and you didn't change it. So I would just recommend you do something to change it. That's the first thing.
It is so important, and there are a plethora of reasons why Republican or conservative voters have grown apathetic, right? They see the supermajority, they see what's going on, and they feel like their vote doesn't matter. They see that illegals are getting the opportunity to vote, therefore their vote doesn't matter. They wonder who counts the votes, therefore their vote. I get it. But
stop it. You still have to vote.
Well, you can choose to be part of the problem, or you can choose to be part of the solution.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to this in the third hour because poor Chris Gergen has been waiting on video for us. He's been so patient. He's dressed.
Really? You just left him sitting there? What
yeah,
a
well, we were in the middle of talking about something, and you guys wouldn't shut up.
Chris, I apologize.
Chris is dressed up very well. Chris, I'm going to make your camera hot now, so don't pick your nose. Hello, Chris. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How are you?
Good, good. How's your night? You look very nice. Why do you dress up so nicely when you come on this show and we all look like slobs?
Because he's dapper.
Because perception is reality.
Chris always dresses well.
Average Geek Joe, don't go anywhere. You're going to want to stick around for this because we're talking state politics anyway. Chris, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man. How are you?
Hey, good. Can we cover the important stuff before we get into the topics?
You bring it. Does he have video?
Yeah, you're just behind. He's on there now.
Okay, there we go.
I'll be in Vegas in October.
Nice.
The 8th through the 12th. I'm going to come down to Vegas. So let's get together and go grab a steak.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Well, that'll be good. Maybe you and I can join the show remotely together.
Nobody wants to hear about your vacations, Kevin.
That'd be great.
Just get into the interview.
I'm networking with our guests, Paul. This is what healthy relationships look like. You should try it sometime.
Do that offline.
All right. Chris, listen, man, you kicked some hornets' nests in the last couple of weeks since the primary night.
Well, there's a lot of nests to kick. So
yeah,
there are.
Most Republicans would have liked it if Chris had just said happy flowery things and propped up the status quo and given some hope and some life. And instead, Chris essentially said, you guys are screwed. You're going to get rolled in November, and here's why. Can you explain where you're coming from and why you think that things are going to be so dire for Republicans come November?
So I ran a well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's always fun to come on.
I love having you on. Paul doesn't like it, but I like it a lot.
Jesus. Go ahead. Chris. Forget him.
So after the primary election, that following Friday, Saturday, I ran a report as I typically do on where all the races, pretty much sit. And no, it isn't, all done as far as the certification goes. I think certification happens on the 18th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But after Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's typically or historically where, the bulk of the votes come in and everything kind of flattens out. And pretty much, where you are in the race. And so I did an 83-page analysis. It was an in-depth analysis on, and it was a statistical analysis. This isn't just like, Chris's opinion on the analysis. This is actual, academically defensible analysis. And so when I analyzed all the races throughout the state, what I found was not good for Republicans. And not only was turnout abysmal, which I have been saying, I'm on the record over the last 2 years saying that in 2026, if turnout is low, it's going to be a real problem for Republicans, A, and then B, it's going to be because of voter apathy. And also, I guess C would be a lot of conservatives have left the state and or have just given up, which I believe is different than apathy. Apathy is just, I don't really care. And giving up is, what's the use in voting?
Mm-hmm.
And so with this, I've got the analysis right here. I've actually got a summary of it. The summary is 25 pages. So it's pretty in depth. And
you got the data, man.
I am a data guy. I mean, people think I'm just this asshole with an opinion, and while that may be true on the surface, there's actually an informed opinion, right? I actually do the homework, do the analysis on this stuff to look. That way, I can advise clients properly, so they know exactly where they are based on what the numbers actually are. Because the only poll that matters is the one that happens on election night in August in Washington, and then in November. Statewide. Those are the only polls that matter, right?
Yes, sir.
So right now you've got situation, statistically speaking, LD 12 is going to be a loss because while it's close and the Republican is for now ahead just briefly or just barely, that district in particular tends to trend left, historically speaking, in November. But that is one that could be saved. LD 12, if they pour a lot of money into it and the guy makes no mistakes and runs it clean. If it's a wave year to where Dems just vastly outperform Republicans, then 12 is definitely lost. LD 17, both seats will be lost. Period. Full stop. Don't pass go. There's no hope in those seats. LD 18.
So hold on. 17 is down. 17 is down part of Vancouver, right? Kind of that area down there, the state.
Yep. Yep. And listen, I know Republicans, they don't like to hear, well, there's no hope, blah, blah, blah. But if it's a big shit sandwich and everybody has to take a bite, I'm going to tell you the truth, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pump you up to get you to put donor dollars into a race that there's no meaningful pathway forward. Right. And I mean, this was done all the way down to the precinct level. Like I looked at like the atomic level of these races, and there's no pathway forward in 17. In 18, both seats right now, the Dems should win by 2.5 and in position 1, and the Dems should win by 5.3 in position 2.
And those are both seats that are currently held by Republicans. So those are not status quo. Those are losing seats.
All these are seats that the Republicans will lose. Wow. These are not seats that are currently held by Dems and that they're going to defend. So all of the defend seats for the Dems, in fact, there was a write-up in one of the newspapers there about this very subject, to where the Dems are in a position to go after swing districts because all their defends are taken care of, which means that they don't have to spend any money strategically in these other seats to defend, right? They can just focus all their money on the flips, on the swings. So 12 probably, 17 both seats definitely. Now with 12, it's only one of the two. Mike Steele is in a dominant position because he has a lot of alliances. In fact, there was a very prominent progressive group that put him on the mailer, said support him. And so not only did he dominate in the primary, he is in a very good position to probably get 57% in the general. His seatmate, however, is not in that same situation. So 17 both seats, 18 both seats, and then LD 26, which is Michelle Caldere's old seat. She is vacated, and Katie
Cornell
is she vastly underperformed, and and so that right there is 6, right? And then there are a few more that if things go real bad, that they could lose a maximum of 10, which probably won't happen. Statistically, there's a 1% chance that they lose 10. But the 80% mean, if you throw a dart at the board, they're going to lose at a minimum of 5 and probably a maximum of 7, right?
Somebody asked in the chat about the 19th, which is where Jim Walsh is at, Jeff Wilson, Joe McIntyre. Any chance that any of those fall?
Nah.
No.
Okay. That was one of the things that I've bitched about is that these guys, we've got wartime generals, or I'm sorry, we've got peacetime generals running a wartime effort, and they don't know what the fuck that they're doing, which is obvious. You look at, so let's take the 26. Okay. So I've got a dog in the 26, right? I've got Gary Parker. And so Gary's running. The caucus, in their infinite wisdom, decided to give him $0, which is fine. We expected that. The caucus doesn't like me. Ron Mazzal's a pussy. He doesn't want to step up on anything. And if he doesn't like who the consultant is, they're just not going to fund it. So fuck that guy. So anyway, they have no money in Gary Parker at all. They put, I think, 75,000 into David Olson, which is fine. I think that's great. They're trying to flip, that seat. And then they put like 140 or 110 or something into Katie's race. And Gary Parker, with no fucking money, none out of the caucus, beat David Olson, same voter pool, and then underperformed Katie by about 350 votes. So essentially, when you break that down, the Republicans spent $1,000 per vote to outperform my guy that got no money. So essentially what I said the other day on video, I lost my shit. And you know, it was, and that video, by the way, got almost 70,000 views.
Yes, it did.
You know, the reality is this, is that the emperor has no clothes. Something that Jim Walsh and that dope went on to was it Curly or what's his name? He's a radio guy. I can't remember his name. John
Curley.
John Curley, yeah. So went on his, and John was like, you know, you're going to lose probably 2 seats in the 17th and 2 seats in the 18th. And Jim's like, that's not going to happen. We're going to outperform. And I don't know why John didn't press him. And be like, okay, so well, you say that's not going to happen, but why? Like, what do you have? Oh, that's just not going to happen, you know, with this big fat fucking gels and stuff. That's just not going to happen. Really? Well, how about you fucking tell us there, Mr. Genius, why, I don't know, ever since you've been chairman, we can't raise money. We can't organize ourselves. You refuse, absolutely fucking refuse to have any sort of accountability on the finances. You fire the treasurer because he told the truth. Like, what the fuck is going on over here at the WSRP? Right? And he refuses to answer questions. Instead, he wants to go on a tour to self-promote himself, like he's done for the last, I don't know, 6 years that I've known him. Right? And so it's just bullshit. And what happens is candidates get hung out to dry, right? And they end up out on an island. And then the caucus, the Republican caucus, hires this dope as an executive director who doesn't know what she's doing. Her last major race was the mayor race in Spokane that got flipped from red to blue. So now Spokane is a blue city also that probably isn't going to be able to get back. And everybody thought that was an amazing idea to go ahead and hire her, right? And so Spokane, like you look at Spokane, you look at CD 5, and Michael Baumgartner is like vastly underperforming. Republicans took 60% of the vote just 2 years ago, and now he's at like 48 or 49. Like,
well, and those, right, Chris, those areas are big agricultural areas. And what kind of workers do agricultural areas draw in, right? How they didn't have a 20% growth in population accidentally. That population comes in, well, H-1B visa holders come in technically, seasonally, right? So in Washington state, as a result of the recent FOIA request, we now know that every one of those illegals that came into the state that applied for driver's license also got registered to vote. Yeah. Just saying. Does 1 + 1 = 2? Well, only if you're maths.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think politically, though, you look at the Spokane party over there, and they're a train wreck. Right. And so like you've got this, and that seems to be, and, you know, and I even hit a lot of the county party chairs, and not all of them are bad. You know, there are some that are very good, right, that are doing a good job. And then, but most of them are just fucking idiots. Like they don't know anything about campaigning, right? They're more worried about who they're going to endorse and these different things so they can stick their thumb on the scale. And it's bullshit. The only endorsement that the party should make is after the election, after the people, the fucking voters have said, this is who we want. And then the party should follow suit and say, great, we're going to follow what the people said. Because I don't know, last time I checked, the country was by the people, for the people, of the people. The people are the ones that decide. But just like the Democrats, Republicans have no room to talk about, you know, well, the Dems took away the right of their voters to pick who their candidates are, which is true, right? Like what happened with Biden and Kamala Harris and so forth. I think it's the second presidential election they've done that shit. Republicans do the same shit. They do this same thing by sticking their thumb on the scale. You know, I wrote an op-ed in back in 24, begging the WSRP not to endorse in the gubernatorial race. Don't endorse. It's going to cause an irreparable fracture in the party between Semi Bird and Reichert. And what happened? Those fucking idiots decided to endorse. They went to their convention. Reichert didn't get the nomination. They nominated Semi Bird. Semi Bird got blown the fuck out. like not even close, didn't raise any sort of money, had no traction, ran a train wreck of a campaign, and was exposed as being a liar and just full of shit. And and listen, I'm not in love with Reichert. He's a moderate, and I'm not in love with his politics. I think he's a nice man, but I don't have any personal problem with him. I'm not on board with all of his politics, especially on issues like abortion and different things. But at the end of the day, the people clearly, the Republican Party clearly, the voters fucking clearly said Dave Reichert's the guy we want on the ballot to on the Republican side. And so the only endorsement that should have come was from the WSRP after the election. But they didn't do that. Yep. Instead, they wanted a fucking war. 4 years before that, they endorsed Josh Freed 100%. And I took Lauren Culp and beat their ass 2-1 in a field of 36, including Lauren. Right. Yep. And so, at the end of the day, like, they're on the wrong side of everything. And so to circle this all the way back around to the money that they put into Katie and into David, and they didn't give my guy anything, all that and my guy got the same amount of votes, essentially as they did. It just means that the party doesn't fucking matter. That's what I keep trying to tell all of these candidates, right? I even had one candidate say, well, Chris, I love working with you. Yeah, I know I signed a contract with you, but they don't really want me to work with you. And they say that they're not going to do anything for me if if I continue to work with you. So, would you mind, just kind of stepping back? And I'm at a point in my career where, like, if you take me to the dance, like, you're not going to dance with somebody else. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I'm not this bitch that you put underneath a cover. You know what I mean? And so I'm nobody's side chick. Either we're going to run this together, we're going to be out front, we're going to fucking roll hard, or we're not. Right. And so now this guy in his race.
When I go to Vegas together, Chris, you will not be my side chick. We will. You're
awesome. Good. Well, I appreciate that, man. I'll be your wingman, but I won't be your side chick. So, so the reality is that, like, this guy's down, I think 10 or 12 in his race. Now, I'm not saying that he'd be ahead in his district because it was a tough race to begin with, but the consultant that they put him with literally lost every single one of his races. He has no candidates that made it to the general, right? But he made a lot of money on mail. He made a lot of money on digital and on TV ads. His congressional candidate fucking lost. His state ledge candidates all lost. And this is the same fucking people that they keep running. But when it comes to me or it comes to other people that speak up, they don't want to do any business with the people that don't just agree and roll over.
Yep.
And that's the problem with the party. And, this is like 2026. And I said this publicly, is the last cycle I'm going to be doing business in Washington State. And so at least seeking business out. If business comes to me, I'll look at it on a case-by-case basis to maybe take it, but I won't actively be involved because the Republican Party doesn't want to win. Now, some of the people do, but the party itself doesn't have any desire to win.
Yeah, so it feels like it's become more about party than winning, right? Like, as long as we hold true to this connected odds formula of what we say is important to us as a party, it doesn't matter if we really win anything because we've dug in on these ideas that we just think are more important than us actually making a difference in the seats themselves. Right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
This is about who's in my club, right? Yeah. Like none of the Republican leadership in the Senate or in the House like me at all, which is fine. The feeling's mutual. All of them are fucking useless, and I mean literally they are. And some of them are dumb. Like they can fall into like a barrel full of tits and come out sucking their thumb. Like they're fucking retards. They really are. Like they have absolutely no political IQ at all, political instincts, none of them.
Chris, hold on. Did you just say they were so dumb they could fall into a barrel of tits and come out sucking their thumb? That's what I thought I heard you say.
That's exactly what I said, and I've said it before.
That's fucking classic.
You know what they remind me of, Chris? They remind me that, and I'm sure there were kids when we were growing up. They would have like this fort, or this club, or this treehouse, right? Where they're like, this is exclusive, and this is where only the cool kids get to be at. And it was all guys, and there was never any girls.
It's a big fucking sausage fest.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And that's what the Republican Party feels to me like, is a big sausage fest where nobody wins anything.
It's like Kamala Harris.
And I don't mean sausage as far as like male or female. I mean people primping their stuff but having nothing to show for it. No,
well, that's why I don't go to Republican things. Like I never go to Republican things because I hate peacocking. You know what I mean? You know how peacocks, like the male ones, will put up their feathers and they dance around to get a female, and they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Right? That's all these Republican meetings are. It's just these big, look at me type things, and I don't fucking care. Yeah. I just want to win. That's all I want to do.
You talk about all the peacocking thing and all the preening stuff. Clearly, you've gone out with Paul and hung out with Paul because that's
a bad joke, dude.
That's what he does.
Just leave it.
He does. Okay, so Chris, if let's say you're right, 7 seats. Let's say, do we just pick a number in your range? We say they lose 7 seats.
Let's go to the super duper majority.
So,
stop it.
Is there an end in sight? Like if I'm a conservative voter in the state of Washington and I'm looking at this going, God, this has gotten worse every single year. And every year the Republicans tell us there's going to be a wave. And every year Republicans tell us they're going to start winning some of these seats back. And not only do they not win the seats back, but they lose more seats. They can't even hold on to the seats that they've got. Is there an end in sight to this? I mean, could we eventually be like 90-10?
Yeah.
Or 85-15?
Well, the max right now, according to where we sit in 2026, if Republicans, the maximum they could lose to where you get it like cut to the quick is 10, right? And then all of a sudden you get into safe R seats, right? And then what the Dems will do over time, they'll play the long game like they normally do. They'll inch in on those safe, and then they'll make them lean, and then they'll make them toss up, and then they'll convert them, right? And so, like, I've got every race projected here. So you've got 6. Do you mind if I go through these?
No, go ahead.
No, in fact, before you do, we actually had a question in the chat and wanted to know what you thought about the 12th. So go right ahead, man.
So the 12th, I went over that one. So the 12th is, let me go back over here to my notes.
Keith Goner is your state senator. Brian Burnett and Mike Steele, your 2 reps, all Republicans.
Yeah, so Burnett. Yeah, so right now, I think Burnett is at 50.55, or at least that's where he was when I took this snapshot in time, which was this would be probably Saturday morning at about 2 a.m., right? So he was about 50.55. His projected on November 3rd, based on the analytics and all of the formulas and all that stuff, we're projecting about 49.87. Now, he's not going to get blown out by any means, unless he does something incredibly stupid. But the Republicans are definitely going to put a lot of money, whatever money they have left, because they put a lot of money into losing races in the primary. So I don't know how much money they have left, but whatever money they have, they're going to have to play defense really, really hard to save Burnett's seat. But we're projecting 49.87 for him. So still toss up, right? But I think the Dem will probably prevail there.
But that's an Eastern Washington district. That's an Eastern Washington seat, right?
It straddles.
Okay.
Yeah, it straddles. It's pretty big geographically. Right.
Straddles, kind of like Paul in the Army. Hey, what else are you seeing?
That's cool, man. I'm taking notes.
Well, I'm glad you are. Are there any seats Republicans could win that they didn't have before? Like,
No.
Is this all going to be a negative gain? Are there any pluses?
No.
God, that's so depressing, dude.
No. So I'll go through them if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So in the Senate, 6 is a safe R, 7 is a safe R, 8 is a safe R. 13 is safe. These are Republicans. 15 is safe. 21 is a safe D. And then 26 is likely Democrat. 29 is a safe D. 30 is a safe D. 31 is a lean Republican. Okay, so Phil Fortunato's seat. So he should win that one by 4. But that's a seat he used to win by a lot more than 4, right? So that one is one that in the 31st next cycle, so 28 and then 30, the Dems will probably go hard after and probably flip as soon as Fortunato decides to check out. unless Republicans field somebody that's really dynamic and can really, fits the district and so forth. But it just geographically where it's at, that's going to be tough for Republicans. So the 32nd is safe for the Dems, 33rd is safe for the Dems, 34th is safe for the Dems, 36 safe for the Dems.
35 is safe for Republicans, I would assume.
It's a toss-up.
The 35th is?
Yep.
Really? You think Griffey or Couture or McEwen could be in trouble?
No, this is Senate.
Oh, Senate. Oh, okay. Sorry.
These are Senate seats. So that one's a toss. That one's a toss.
McEwen? Is he?
Yeah, McEwen vastly underperformed. He's at like 50%.
Really?
He just forgot to campaign. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he should win. He should get about 50.86 or 51% of the vote, but that's a district he should be getting 55, 56%. Right. And even Griffey and Travis, who I like Travis a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But Travis will probably get 53%. Travis is probably going to underperform. And that's not because of Travis. That's just because of what's going on politically throughout the state. Right. That's the apathy that is coming in. And then also people leaving, as well as people fleeing King County, going across the water and changing. Like Kitsap, we've seen Kitsap change dramatically.
Yep.
Dramatically.
Is there an issue with Couture and Griffey specifically that they're just so well known that everybody assumes they're going to win? So why are we even going to worry about going out to vote in the first place in those seats? Because we just assume that they're never going to go anywhere.
I don't know.
Is that a risk?
Maybe, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what GOTV is for, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where, Travis and Griffey need to really, really lean in hard on turning out the vote. But if there's apathy, that's a really heavy lift for candidates. And the dynamic here is that the county parties are supposed to motivate the base. They're supposed to be out there motivating the base. It's like, think about it like farming, right? So you can't expect the corn to grow if you don't go out there and till the field. If you don't go out there and water the field, if you don't go out there and actually nurture the field, right? And so what has ended up happening is, so across the state, in Washington state, and by the way, I'm not picking on Washington. This is true in many states. Okay, but Washington, is what we're all talking about here. So the county parties are supposed to go seed the field and supposed to, till it and supposed to water it and supposed to have precinct committee captains, and they're supposed to be out there talking to their neighbors and supposed to be getting, supposed to be getting people out and getting them motivated and talking to them about the candidates. And then the candidates are supposed to go out there and stand on the shoulders of the county party and then pitch like a unified message, right? But there is no unified message. Right. There's none of that. And so what ends up happening is county parties end up relying on candidates to gin up excitement for the Republican Party and for Republican values and for, to do the things that the party is supposed to be doing. And that's incredibly difficult to do when they have to go out there and fundraise, and they have to go out there and pitch themselves, and they have to go out there and develop a field team, and they have to go out there and do all these different things. That isn't the job of a candidate, is not to build the party. The job of the party is to provide a good field for the candidates to work in, and then to back those candidates, right? So there's a question in the chat about how has Kitsap changed so dramatically. So it has changed dramatically because, again, people out of King County have gone across the water because everything is so shit in King County. That they have come over there where it's more sleepy, it's slower, there's because it's had conservatives, or at least is more conservative than King County. They haven't had a lot of problems that they have in King County. And so over time, and this has not been a quick thing, we've actually monitored this since 2022. The Kitsap in particular has been inching demographically farther to the left, right? So
really quick with that question though, like I want to go back to the 26 just for a second, just in comparison, because when we first started doing this show, the 26 was red. I mean, you had both representative positions red. The state senator was Jan Angel; she was red.
Yep.
we fast forward, and now, based off of the numbers, it looks like it's going to be blue.
It is.
Is that solely because of the relocation of people from across the water, or is it like I've always felt like, Chris, that part of the issue out here is we're just not getting candidates with any name recognition. Like what's Katie Cornell. Like I really like Katie Cornell. We've had her on the show. We've talked to
nice
her.
lady.
I think she's great. But if I'm a Kitsap County voter, I don't know who she is. I've never heard of her before.
Right.
Like I don't have a basis in which to form an opinion on. And so I feel like in a lot of these people they put out on the 26th, the Republicans have, it's names nobody's ever heard of, with no community recognition, no voice, no name recognition. And then we're throwing them to the wolves and saying, hey, consider voting for these people. And they never heard of them. They get their asses kicked and they never run again. And then 2 years later, you're running a new name out there that nobody's ever heard again. And it's just wash, rinse, and repeat.
Well, that's part of it, but okay. So let's go back to Addison. Was it Addison Richards?
Yes.
Okay. So nobody had heard of him. So he ran and then he lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ran again and he won. But still, nobody really heard of him, right?
Right.
The Dems are really good at voter contact. That's something that Republicans traditionally just are not good at least in Washington State. And that's not a blanket statement across there are some places where they are good, but that it's really far and few between, because I think the average age of most Republicans involved in the party is deceased. Right. I mean, that's like the average age is deceased, like north of 55, 60 years old. Like you're going to get the 70-year-old guy with the walker out there knocking on doors. Get the fuck out of here. Right. So there's no urgency and there's no real call to motivate the Gen X or Gen Z and whatever gen they're on now. Right. The younger guys and gals to get out there. And the younger generation have different values because they grew up in a different world. You know what I mean? Like as a Gen Xer, like I look at this newer generation coming up and I just kind of scratch my head like, what the hell, right? But they grew up in a different world than I grew up in,
mm-hmm.
right? And so I learned things that they never learned. And they grew up with technology and different things to augment their lives in ways that I didn't. Like I didn't have a fucking cell phone when I was a kid.
Yep.
The only guy that had a cell phone was like the guy that rode around a limousine, right? Or had a $80,000 Mercedes Benz, and it was a brick, right? I mean, I remember when our family got our first microwave, and it was fucking enormous, and it would zap your brain and give you fucking cancer, right? Like that was the world I grew up in, right? You know what I mean?
I remember our first.
There was no remote controls. This fucking guy was a remote control, right?
Yeah, I was a remote control.
The microwave had so much power, and you turn it on, and the street lights dimmed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the world is just different.
Yeah. Legislative District 47. I'm only bringing this up because it just seems like a weird district to me in the numbers. Be careful. Tom's going to get an erection. So Deborah Entenman, she's the Dem. They got the most votes with just about 38%. But coming in second place, and again, this person doesn't have a shot because everybody else was a Democrat and they all got pretty significant vote totals. But coming in second place was Kobe Clark, a libertarian.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, settle down, Tom, put it away.
I'm just listening.
Are libertarians grabbing any movement in this state? Or is this just a weird, because there was no Republican that was running, and do libertarians have any movement?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, and also Kobe had a really, there's a young lady, Neat Gruel. I worked with her on her campaign. She ran for Kent City Council last cycle. And she's a monster in the field. Like she's really, really good. And in fact, she's one of the best field tacticians I've seen in Washington State in the last 6 years. And Kobe hired her, and they did a great job on the ground to get Kobe across the line. I do think that if there was a Republican in that race, Kobe probably wouldn't have got there. That's just my opinion, right? But in that particular situation, it could very well be, because that's a safe D seat, right? So it very well could have been like D on D, right? And so the fact that Kobe got there, I think, is in large part due to him as a candidate, the things he was talking about, as well as his team, right? And I think Nate did a great job. And so, you know, I don't personally, as much as I like Kobe and as much as I like Nate, right, I don't necessarily see Kobe getting there in November, because it is such a safe, you know, D seat. I hope I'm wrong, right? But you know, just based on the numbers, it's probably going to be Deborah.
Yeah. I just knew Tom would be happy to find out that a libertarian candidate actually made it to November. That's got to be a pretty momentous day for a libertarian in the state of Washington.
In Washington, it's noteworthy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, 100% it is. Absolutely.
Chris, what happens next? Like the vibe I'm getting from you is bad, right? And
I'm sorry,
man. I think rightfully so, but the vibe I'm getting from you is bad. We're going to continue to go left. The Republicans are going to continue to lose seats. We're going to continue this push towards the uber aggressive left side of the party. Is there any silver lining? Anything you can give me so I don't hang myself from a shower curtain rod when I get home?
I mean, there's a hotline. I would tell you that there's a hotline you can call, right?
Thanks, Chris.
You know, you don't make a permanent decision on a temporary problem, right? So
it sounds like it's going to be a permanent problem in this state, though, Chris.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's a U-Haul right up the street.
That's true,
right? So I mean,
so you have no silver lining for us. There's nothing you can look at and go, maybe this breaks some way, or maybe this changes. There's none of that.
Can I ask a different?
Well, no, there's okay. So in this situation, you're surrounded, and so that means you can shoot in any direction and hit something.
Yeah. Great, Chris. Thank you. Let me try phrasing it in a different way.
God, Chris, I love you.
I have a 24-year-old, and he's very conservative. He's a veteran and currently serving in the National Guard. And he was explaining to me that he has a lot of friends that he is currently serving with in the National Guard here in Washington State that have this mindset that this state has gone so far to the left that they feel like their only course of action is to force it to go further left by helping to elect far leftist candidates. He's like, we might as well just help the system break faster. What do you say to that thought process?
I mean, I disagree with it. I think
I do too, but
I think it's incredibly reckless. And
give me wisdom.
I would point to a couple examples: Massachusetts, Maryland, New York, California, Oregon, New Mexico, Illinois.
Like, let me list a few, and he goes like 20 long.
I mean, you know, most of those states that I named, you really can't get any farther left than you know what I mean? Like Massachusetts, right. Are you kidding me? Right? Yeah, and 40% of people who live in Massachusetts are Republicans.
Yeah.
And they hold absolutely no power. I think they have one seat or maybe even 0 seats now in Congress. Right.
And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right, Chris? Because you lose elections, people believe that you can't win, people don't donate, you don't have the money to fund the election, you can't fund a good candidate, you lose, and it just cycles and goes the whole way. Like, once you started that spiral, it's really hard to fix it.
Well, yeah, I think the Republicans, the biggest problem Republicans have is that a lot of them, not all of them. Okay. So I'm casting a wide net here. Okay. So just indulge me. A lot of them feel like they have a right to be right. Okay. And they believe inherently that because they're right, anybody that doesn't see it the way they see it is just a fucking retard. And so, you know, they think that because they're right, they should win the election. And listen, there's never been an election that was won because the person was right. Now, there have been people that have won and they were right about the issue, but they didn't win because they were right. Because if being right about the issues won elections, there would be no Democrats. Because they're wrong on just about every issue. I'm talking about modern Democrats, not the classical liberals. I'm talking about like modern socialist communist Democrats. They wouldn't win anywhere because they're not right. They're not right on any issue. Really? So like in Massachusetts, we're going to kill babies up to 34 weeks. Really? That's what we're going to do? I mean, are they right on that issue? I mean, you know what I mean? They're going to take everybody's guns. Really? They're right on that issue. I mean, fuck the Second Amendment, right? So they're right on that, right? So they're wrong on these issues. But people continue to vote for them. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Republicans don't know how to talk about issues. That has been a big, big problem for about 40 years. And it really started, it is just my observation, and I could be totally wrong on this, right? But this is just my observation, is that they stopped really talking effectively about the issues when Bush Sr. became president. And all through the 90s, they really have had an inability to really talk about issues and connect with voters. There's one exception with the big red wave that Newt Gingrich, kind of spearheaded, but then it just went back the other direction, right? And then, we got Bush, if you all remember, it was controversial. Bush Jr., his first win was controversial.
Yep.
Right. And because of Florida.
Hanging chatter too.
Hanging chads, yeah.
And his brother and all that other stuff, right? So they didn't, that was not a convincing win, right? And they didn't win it on comms, I'll tell you that. And it has just accelerated and gotten poorer and poorer and poorer, in my most humble opinion, since 2008, when Barack Obama came in and really encapsulated, his comms team was really great. And he was fucking terrible, right? But in my opinion, but his comms team was great. His social media strategy at the time was ahead of its time. Right now it's archaic and you couldn't do it, but at its time it was like on point. And then here comes Donald Trump and uses media in a way that had never been used before, and social media in a way that had never been used before. But his first campaign was a fucking disaster, and I know because I was on staff. It was just a disaster. And he was as surprised as anybody on election night when he won. He's like, what the fuck? Really? We won? Wow. Right. And so that's why he was late coming out for his acceptance thing.
Yeah.
So we won that election because of the force of Trump, the personality of Trump, the fact that Hillary Clinton was such a bad candidate,
awful,
right? That Trump looked attractive.
Yeah.
So, until we fix the comms thing, Kevin, and we learn how to talk about issues, and we get real with voters, and we quit with this professional, polished bullshit type of style with our candidates, we're not going to win. We're just not.
So I just want to, I got a question for you coming out of the chat. And if you've already answered it in some way, my apologies, but you can tell that listeners like hearing you on this show, because one of them asked specifically, how's Bobby Kahn doing?
Oh, Bobby. So anybody want to take a guess how many, so you had Bobby on back in October.
Correct.
Okay. So when I started with Bobby in July, he had about 6,000 followers on Instagram. So, and he wasn't getting very many views because it was brand new. It was a brand new account.
Sure.
So anybody want to take a guess on how many followers he has now?
We'll take credit for this, but how many?
Is he up to 1 million?
Followers? No. He's at 160,000 followers.
Still,
how many monthly views do you think he gets?
No idea.
I have no idea.
Take a random guess.
10 million views a month?
70 million views.
What?
Yes, I was way off.
Wow.
70 million views. And
well,
so,
tell him we said you're welcome.
Right. And so what we're doing is we're making Vegas again, right? And we're talking about the issues, and Bobby's talking about the issues that are important to people that live in Vegas. Now, full disclosure, Bobby doesn't only talk about campaign stuff. In fact, 70% of what he talks about is not campaign stuff, maybe even 80%. It's about making Vegas again. It's about making America again. It's about getting back to what made us great, not just talking about making America great again, because that's kind of lost. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? So you can look back. Do I?
You can thank a local elected official here in Tara Simmons for donating $30,000 to another previously incarcerated person in Vegas,
who is a state representative, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably
just
shouldn't be.
Chris, listen, before we wrap this up, I have to ask you a selfish question. If I was going to come to Vegas and hang with Chris, no, I know, but hold on, this is an interesting question for me.
Okay.
And I was going to do Vegas the Chris Gergen way. How would I do Vegas the Chris Gergen way?
Dude, I'm so lame, man. I'm at home at like 8:30 p.m. with my fuzzy bunny slippers on, bro.
Are you really?
Like I do not. I'm fucking 50, bro. Like I don't
Like,
go
you're
out
not-
to the strip and
I'm
like
older than
hang
you
out with
are.
like.
Fuck,
Huh?
he's a little kid compared to us.
I'm
man.
older than you are, dude.
Yeah, we were graduating high school, dude. You were still going through puberty, Chris.
Well,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, but still, man, I'm an old man. I don't, you know what? I don't live in Vegas because of the strip. Like, there's so much about Vegas is such an amazing city, and this guy Dave Hockett, I love you, Dave, but Vegas is not a burning shithole. It is burning, but it's not a shithole. Vegas is an amazing city, and it is like 6 different cities all in one big city.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And you can go to, North Vegas, East Vegas. Probably want to avoid East Vegas after dark, and even during the day. But you've got like, right, like you've got Inspirada, and you've got Summerlin, and you've got, the Highland, you've got a whole bunch of Paradise, you've got a whole bunch of different stuff.
What's the area with all the brothels? What area is that?
Kevin needs to write this down. Hold on.
No, brothels are actually, did you know that prostitution is illegal in Clark County?
Yes, I do know that. Yeah.
Yes, you have to go to Nye County.
But how is it that they have all those billboards rolling down the strip with these signs about have these naked women show up to your rooms?
It ain't illegal to freaking advertise.
Those were actually outlawed.
You don't have those anymore now?
No, about 6-7 years ago they outlawed them.
No, I've been to Vegas since then and saw. Oh, maybe I don't know. Okay,
no,
all right.
No, you used to have people like handing out like little cards and see them on taxis and these different things. And by the
They're
way,
gone now?
those were not hookers; those were ladies that are there to entertain you and do whatever you want to do. They're there for companionship. So I don't know what you were doing with them, Kevin, but I just know that.
They were there for companionship, depending what kind of companionship you wanted, Chris.
Yeah,
that might have been.
but you got to go up to Pahrump if you want to go to the brothels. Yeah, it's about a 45-minute drive. Yeah.
Kevin, just for your knowledge, Chris, Kevin's sitting over here with his notepad, and he's like, "Fuck."
His notepad is Vaseline.
But listen, he's Vaseline. I'm just imagining when you walk into casinos that people are like, "Oh, Mr. Gergen, good to see you again, Mr. Gergen. How can we? Do we have your table ready, Mr. Gergen?" Like, I can just imagine that.
No, that's actually Bobby. Like, Bobby is, because he's become such a become Mr. Las Vegas. Like, they know Bobby in all the properties. He got banned from MGM because he criticized the CEO, and basically told everybody he was a fucking idiot, and so they sent him a ban. They banned him from all MGM properties on the planet.
Really?
Yeah. To include T-Mobile Arena, like he couldn't go see the NHL hockey team. Like, yeah. So he's been highly critical of the because corporations have destroyed the strip. Yeah. And because during COVID, what happened was these casinos lost so much money because of our Democrat governor fucked everybody. They sold the land to a venture capitalist, and then the venture capitalists turned around and leased back the land to the casinos at such a high rate of interest, and their payments are so high that now all of a sudden a bottle of water is $25. You get a fucking cheeseburger for $35. They've got resort fees, and they've got parking. Like, there isn't even free parking. Like, what the fuck is that, right?
Not anymore. Yeah.
So you've got local owned casinos here, like Sahara, which is fucking amazing. Like, I know the owner of Sahara is a great guy. Is a big supporter of Bobby's, and Bobby knows him real well. They're first name basis friends. And so now Bobby is not only, now the people are asking Bobby to run for governor after like not this cycle, but next cycle, because he's up in Reno and he's here all around town here. But the thing is Bobby doesn't just promote, Bobby doesn't promote Bobby. Bobby promotes local employers. He promotes local casinos. He promotes valet guys and housekeepers and dealers and pit bosses and security guys. Like, those are the people that make Vegas, right? Yep. And we want to get back to putting those people first, because at the end of the day, like, if people don't feel welcome coming to Vegas, they're not going to come.
Yeah, especially with $35 cheeseburgers.
100%.
And here's the other issue with the strip, man, that now that weed is legal in Vegas, you can't even walk down the strip without getting hit by walls and walls and walls of weed smoke everywhere you go down there. And you can't win. Like, I went out and played at Palace Station, which is not on the strip,
and failed his piss test the next day.
And I walked out of that place with I was up $1,500 playing at Palace Station. You can't win on the strip. Like, if you're going to Vegas to gamble, get your ass off the strip and go to one of the station casinos.
Yeah, no, station casinos are one of the locally owned casinos.
Yep.
You got Red Rock, which is right by my house. You've got
you look at Red Rock. I'm going to go hike Red Rock while I'm out there. I love that place.
It's beautiful. It's like 20 minutes from my house. It's beautiful out there. So you got like Red Rock, you've got Durango, you've got several of these locally owned. The Fertitta brothers own those casinos. They're run really well. They're clean. They're safe. They don't put up with any bullshit. It's very kind of old Vegas, but these larger casinos like Caesars and MGM and these different properties, they're just shit. And, people don't, like you go to Excalibur or Luxor, those are like from a bygone age where they tried to make Vegas Disneyland and they tried to make it family friendly. But here's the reality, man. Like, this is Sin City.
Yeah.
Like, if there's any trouble you want to find, you can find it in Vegas.
Trust me, I'm aware.
That's just the reality of it. And that's what I mean, when it comes to strip clubs, when it comes to drinking or gambling or like, anything that you want to get yourself into, you can find it in Vegas. But if you come here for the sports, or you come here for the food, or you come here for the hiking, or you come here for, like, there's so much other stuff that, like, we've got the Raiders, we're getting the A's, we've got the Golden Knights, which is our NHL team that won the Stanley Cup, right? We've got the Las Vegas Aces, which is the WNBA team. We're getting an NBA team here. They're going to build a new stadium here.
Yeah.
So are they going to get an expansion team, or so then hopefully the Seattle should get their team back.
Yeah. So Seattle and Vegas will both get expansion teams. That's what they're rumoring. They just haven't announced it officially yet.
That was before the income tax.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
No, we're still going to get it. It's fine.
We're working hard on that, man.
Chris, we love you. We really do. Next time you're in town, come join us in studio again. Let's chat again before November.
Let's do it.
We'll just keep doing this with you, man. It's been good to talk with you.
I should be in town, Kevin, probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Good. Well, let us know. Let us know.
Let's all go out. We'll have some dinner. And I just want to throw this out there to you, Chris. I know you're going to be busy as shit on election night, but how would you feel? Would we be able to call and check in with you? Get your thoughts on how things are going down?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll probably be in town, honestly.
Up here in Washington?
Well, he's got a candidate.
So.
Okay. Yeah, he's Parker, right? Gary Parker.
Yeah.
So he'll be up here for Gary Parker's kind of waning moments in the campaign as they get close to the finish line, I would assume.
I love it.
Yep.
Chris, we love you, man. You're the best. We appreciate you. We love your support. I can't wait to hang out with you in Vegas. I'm expecting to see limos and big time and cigars, and
just keep being a rock star, man. Give Bobby our best too.
I will, man. And when you're here, we'll I'll hook you up with Bobby and we'll do something fun.
That'd be great, man.
That'd be cool.
Hey, you know what we should do, Chris? Paul would be so jealous that those places that are outside of Vegas where you can go like shoot the really big guns on the top of Jeeps or do flamethrowers or all that.
Yeah, I was in the Army. I've done all that shit. There's
you haven't ever done a flamethrower.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Have you ever driven a Lamborghini?
No, never.
You can do that.
So hold on.
Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
So true story, and then I'll let you go. This was 2018. We'd gone to my niece's wedding in just outside of San Fran, and then we drove to Vegas. And I had saved up money. I really wanted to go on one of those tracks where you can race the race car tracks. And I had a Lamborghini. I had it reserved.
Nice.
You got to do like 8 laps or whatever in the Lambo on the track, right?
Yeah.
As I'm coming into Vegas, we see smoke on the horizon. Have no idea what it is. It turns out somebody who had reserved the same Lambo that I had reserved, put it into a wall, killed himself and the instructor in the car. I don't know if you remember that, but they shut it down for like 3 weeks after that. I didn't get to do it, and I was really bummed.
Well,
because I wanted to be the one to put it in the wall.
Well, if you promise not to put one into the wall, I'm sure that we could get something done for you.
All right, buddy. We'll
Chris
talk.
has
We'll
a
figure it
spare
out.
one in his garage.
We're looking forward to it.
I wish.
Chris, we love you, man. Thank you, buddy. We love you. We'll talk soon.
Hey, thank you for your rock star information. Man. We appreciate you.
Man.
Chris is the best. Chris Gergen, good friend of the show, Dark Horse Political, advising on Gary Parker's campaign. He's advising a lot of local campaigns. He's active in the state. Hey, by the way, Gergen, when you're done in 26 and you're not going to try to do any more races in Washington, you're still coming on this damn show.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. All right. Just making sure.
Amen,
All right.
brother.
There you go, buddy. All right. There goes Chris Gergen. We love you, Chris. All right.
See you night, Chris.
Really quick, we didn't do this earlier, but I do want to remind you that if you're looking for quality cannabis products in Bremerton, make sure that your next stop is a Destination Highway 420, conveniently located on Hollis Street, right across the street from Cloverleaf, by the way. Destination Highway 420 offers a wide selection of premium flower, edibles, concentrate, pre-rolls, vapes, and more. Whether you're a seasoned consumer or if you're new to
cut it
cannabis.
short, so he didn't have to mention them all.
No, I'm reading our approved script. Whether you're a seasoned consumer or new to cannabis, their knowledgeable team is ready to help you find the products that fit your needs and your budget. Great selection, competitive prices, and friendly service. Every visit, every time. Stop by today and see why so many customers are choosing Destination Highway 420. Reminder, you must be 21 years or older. Please consume responsibly. Destination Highway 420, your destination for quality cannabis in Bremerton.
So when you smoke that stuff, Kevin, do you breathe it into
I've never smoked weed in my life. I have no issue with those of you who do. I'm glad it's legal. It should be legal, but it's just not my jam. It's like people that root for the Raiders. You can root for the Raiders, but it's not my jam.
Which is Kevin's polite way of saying, I'm scared.
Well, no, I'm not scared.
I don't know.
I just don't have any.
I don't know what kind of person it would turn me into.
I don't have any desire to do it. It's totally fine. I don't have an issue with those of you that do.
Well, I mean, you were
More
the
power
same
to
way
you.
with men, and then all of a sudden sex with one. The next thing you know, boom.
Whatever.
Well, no, listen. Tom and I talked
Whatever.
about this at length on the job site the other day.
Oh, you guys worked on a job site together?
Yeah, we're working on the same job site right now.
Really?
Remember this, Tom? We talked about this.
Out at Rick Eckert's house?
And no.
Oh, somewhere else. Okay.
We're in Port Orchard, but Tom came up with a great idea, and you don't realize this, but we've been slowly hypnotizing you through the show tonight.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
For what?
Yes. do you want to tell him, or do you want me to tell him?
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to snap my fingers, and you will no longer be gay. You will not even have gay thoughts.
You told this joke like 37 times on the show.
What joke?
The first time it
Hold on, what
was
joke?
ridiculously funny.
What joke?
Now people at home are making it a drinking game.
I don't even.
Is
what are you
Paul
talking
going to
about?
make the Kevin's not drunk and not gay when we snap our fingers joke?
Of
Take
course,
a shot.
Of
All
course
right.
you're not.
Really quick, a lot of people are
Are
coming
you
back.
acknowledging though that it worked?
Fuck you, Paul.
I mean, you can
There's
say
no
it however
way to
you
answer
want.
that question.
It's
There's
okay to
no
say-
way to answer that
That's
stupid
right.
question.
That's right. Of course, you don't even remember the question, do you?
Anyway, so
Not gay.
Anyway, do you want to go to Vegas in October with me?
I would love to, dude. I would really love to. In fact, I have a partner that would love to go to Vegas too. I've never been there.
Let's go. You go to August with it. Go in October with it.
Well, there's no way. We've got a funeral to go to
In
and a couple
October?
of other. Well, it's coming up here the end of September. And
perfect. It'll be before the trip.
So no, yeah,
beginning of September. That's
Not
perfect.
helping.
So Amber, let me ask the decision maker in the relationship, which is not Paul. Amber, do you guys want to go to Vegas with me and some friends in October? Are you in? Okay, Amber says you're in. Bam! Amber says so. Now we know what's happening. It'll be great. You can hang out.
Paul, go check out Vegas. Vegas is so much fun.
I would love to check out Vegas, but not for $35 hamburgers.
No, you can way cheaper than that. They have-
You can, yeah, there's options.
That's like going, you can go to the high class strip club, or you can pick up the crack whore on 7th.
Yeah, no.
None of it sounds appealing.
Okay, hold on.
Every time you guys talk about Vegas, it sounds less and less like someplace I want to go.
It
Unless I was
depends-
going to get married.
It depends. Hold on. If you go a block off the strip, you can go to Ellis Island, which is one of the smaller casinos.
Oh, I was going to say I was born
but you can get
raised here, man.
But you can get a chicken fried steak dinner for $10 at Ellis Island. You just have to walk a block off the strip. You can eat at Denny's on the strip. You can eat. There's an In-N-Out burger just across the highway. I mean, there's. Oh, I
Something
believe
tells
they.
me eating a greasy cheeseburger on
think
the
they
strip
just-
at Vegas isn't a good idea.
No, it's a great idea.
Man, it's great.
Looking for a fucking porta
There
potty
are-
5 seconds later.
There are inexpensive dinner options. I will tell you this though: if you go with me, you have to go with me to Hell's Kitchen. It's expensive as a sumbitch, but it is so good. The lobster risotto. Oh, holy cow! It's so good.
I don't eat seafood.
Okay, then get the
I would
ribeye.
go for that.
Get the ribeye. Get the Wellington. That restaurant is famous for the beef Wellington.
Well, that's a long process, so those are difficult to cook.
Yeah,
I tried one once. It was a complete fucking disaster.
Yeah, they're
Gordon Ramsay's really damn good at it.
And they have a drink there that I love. It's the drink is called Love Notes from Gordon. I don't know what's in it, but every drink has a little note with it, which is one of Gordon Ramsay's like ripping people things. It's great. But the drinks are phenomenal.
Donkey.
Two of those, and I the last time I was down there, I had a couple of those. We ended the night walking through Bellagio, and I was so drunk walking through the Bellagio that all I would do out of nowhere is just yell, "Woo!" And everybody who was with me was annoyed until you heard random other people throughout the casino
going back at you.
Back at me, and then it just made me continue. Anyway, so yeah, Vegas is my favorite place in the entire planet. Okay, let's go back to the Terra discussion because people have come back and they want to talk about it.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
should we just take a brief break? I will hold Beeler's place right now for the needs of the bladder.
No, go ahead. Paul left in the middle of a segment to go pee, and then you know what Paul did while he was in there peeing? Commented in the chat while he was on the toilet.
No, I was off.
But he was commenting while he was on a potty break. So if you want to step out for a minute, you can do
while
that.
I was off. Listen, you had a great dialogue going with Chris, and he was getting some good information out. The last thing I wanted to do was interrupt that.
You're good. I'm not mad. I'm just saying that we don't need to take a break. We'll just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
unless you guys all want to take a break, we can take a break.
Well, listen, you're the one who controls the freaking board.
That's right,
dude.
I do.
So,
that's right, I do.
You know, that's up to you. I will say this. I think that we skipped the last break. By the way, let me ask, watch this. Are those commercials ready yet that we spent all that time cutting? Okay. Just checking.
I have them. Hold on.
I'm not giving you grief.
I have but hold on. Oh, since you want to air show business out,
I was just asking because I thought you could
since
play
you
the
want to pull back the fourth curtain or fourth wall or the hell they call it. Hello, boss baby. What's going on?
Fourth wall. You're all good.
Paul can also tell me, and I can control the show too. So he just has to know where his threads are.
She's a rock star.
Yes, she can.
Hold on. She can, but she can't. If she
No, she can.
But she doesn't have. You don't have to that end.
Kevin's mansplaining.
No,
I'm
just saying
she's on the other end.
Kevin's getting nervous.
She just doesn't have the way to play commercials. If she muted things, it'd be dead air.
He's like a man who just realized that when he cheated on his other half, he no longer has control over the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Good to see you, boss baby. You look wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
Where are you at right now?
You're glowing tonight.
I'm probably sweating. I'm dog sitting in a house that keeps their house at like 80.
Ooh.
That's kind of brutal.
Did you charge extra for that?
Yeah, no. All
right.
I have two really sweet doggos.
Oh, that's a cute puppy.
So, yeah, I've got two of them.
What kind of dog is that?
What I don't see a puppy.
It's
a K-dog.
Golden doodle.
Golden doodle. You'll see in a second in your feed, Tom. You guys are delayed a little bit. Remember that?
Yeah.
A golden doodle. That's like the poodle, golden retriever mix,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Is that a hypoallergenic breed too?
Yeah.
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 It's
Okay.
listen, for some people it makes a big difference, man. You know, they're
Yeah, I
allergic to
get
dandruff.
my dog fix, and I got my serial killer fix yesterday.
Ooh.
Finally.
Do tell.
Because
Hold on.
Kevin stood me up on going to the serial killer museum. I had to go by myself. Well, I went with
I've been so swamped trying to get this degree thing finished up. It's just I got 2 weeks left and then I'm done. And then I can go do all the things I
And then
wanna
you're
do.
not taking any more classes, right? Are you done?
So what
'Cause
I've
we've heard
committed
about
to
this
do,
schooling stuff for years.
I know.
We're concerned about
2
it.
years, yeah. What I've committed to do is I'm going to take a year off no matter what. Like I'm not even going to entertain it, think about it, consider it nothing for a year. And then after a year, I will decide if I want to go for my doctorate just to make you sons of bitches call me Dr. K-Dog.
Oh God.
Or if I'm just not going to.
What are you going to get a doctorate in?
I don't know.
Cream of some young
Again, hold on. I've already said, like Paul in the foxhole, I've already said I'm not even going to consider it for a year. So I'm not even going to think about it for a year. I'm taking a year off completely, no matter what. And then at the end of the year, I will decide: do I have the bandwidth to do a doctorate program? And if so, what would I do a doctorate program in?
You would do it simply so people would have to call you doctor.
Oh,
that is that is a very selfish way. Vain. Yes, a very vain idea.
Sorry.
Very vain. I don't think God would be proud of you for that. I think Jesus would Mary slap you right back into.
There's a wrestler who calls it slapping somebody back to factory settings. I think that's great.
It's kind of
All
funny.
right. Let's talk about Tara. So earlier we talked about the fact that
brought up to him, let's take a break. And
do you guys want to take a break? I asked if you wanted to. Do you guys want to take a break?
Well, I don't want to miss the Tara conversation.
But he's got to go. He's got shake a do off of Lily.
All right, hold on. So, we'll take a break. We'll come back out. We'll
10
take a
minutes
break.
later.
We'll let everybody go potty. When we come back, we will get into the Terry conversation. We also have some voicemails to play from listeners.
Yes,
because
I'm curious about those.
Pull up all the responses from people in the 23rd Dems and stuff like that. We got a lot of good stuff to read.
Yeah. So we'll do that. Dave says Kevin was also sick AF. When was I sick? I have been sick this week too. This week I was sick. I think it was from all the smoke stuff in the air. Like you guys didn't hear my voice on Tuesday. My voice was shot.
There was a lot. I know we were working outside. Tom was working in outside, but he was dealing with stuff in the air where he was working too.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I'm the only one.
Well, we're just making the point that you're a pansy because we're just fine. We got to toughen you up.
My name is St. Paul. I'm
We
the
got to
voice of
find a
being a
way to
dickhead.
toughen you up. I mean, luckily we just pronounced him as being not gay, so that's good. That's a step.
All right, break is here. Outlaw Radio. Back after this. Stick around. OutlawRadioNetwork.com. Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance. Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional. On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplain is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday night at their new time from 6 to 10.
The older people, I know you're getting a little edgy right now, but you better get into me because I don't want to bum you out, but I'm the future of America.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.
It's kind of stony, huh?
It's a real thing. A radio signal from another world.
The United States government presents
The Outlaw Radio Network.
To provide guidance to mankind.
All right, Outlaw Radio, we are back. I want to remind you about our sponsors, including Destination Highway 420, proud sponsors of Outlaw Radio. You can find them on Hollis Street, right across from the Clover Leaf. Wide selection of products to choose from. A great, friendly, helpful staff that'll help you find stuff to meet your needs and your budget. Destination Highway 420 on Hollis Street in East Bremerton, proud sponsors of Outlaw Radio. We also want to thank Black Ring Spirits, where we host the show every single Sunday night. Come down and see Tom. Check out his wide assortment of distilled spirits and say hi. And if you want to come down and hang out for a show sometime, the couch is sometimes empty. Don't just show up, because sometimes we have a bunch of people that show up down here. And
if you show up and bring a couple of cockatoos, it gets loud and obnoxious.
And Tom says if you show up, he'll make cocktails, but coordinate with us. Let us know before you come down.
And go ahead, Lori.
Oh, hold on. Your mic's on now, Lori.
There we go.
Cameras.
I know. I was leaving this up while we did because I I didn't want to turn the camera on while people were getting seated and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
We also want to thank Evergreen Grace Cleaning. If you have a business or residential cleaning that you need done for your home, business, apartment, whatever, Evergreen Grace Cleaning Company will put it back to smelling good, smelling fresh, and perfect for the next day. Find them on Facebook, Evergreen Grace Cleaning. Kitsap Great Escape. We just hired some new employees today. I'm really excited about the new staff we're bringing on. It's going to be really cool. But anyway, Kitsap Great Escape, the original escape room in Kitsap County, 4 great rooms to choose from. Find out more. Visit them, kitsapgreatescape.com. Paul, talk about your side projects a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you know more about
Pacific Northwest Funding. We're a private lending group for real estate investors only.
Yeah.
But we can fund up to 100%, including closing costs, if it's the right kind of deal. But we can run monies, we can do analysis for you, we can run comps for you, I can do all that stuff. So anybody that's in the real estate investing field out there, feel free, drop me a line. You can even send it to Outlaw Radio Network Facebook page, and I'll get it. I'm not giving out my phone number on here yet for obvious reasons.
360-731.
But it's and we'll put more information out there. This week my ads will be ready and they'll start going out public and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I always tell everybody, text me about this information. There's too many phone calls coming in that are spam and stuff like that. Call me. Let's touch base that way by texting.
Perfect. Also, I want to give just a shout out for meth because it's wonderful. I'm back losing weight again thanks to meth. I'm literally down 15 pounds in the last 45 days.
He's talking about math, but his lisp is catching up to him.
No, I advocate
Hi,
meth. Meth. Good for you, good for me, good for the whole community. All right. Anyway.
Okay. We're going to hell.
So we talked earlier. We talked earlier about Tara Simmons fined $15,000 by state ethics panel because this is the quote.
I think it's important. Maybe we should read the either Tawny's write-up, or I think there's also one other Kitsap's son.
Oh, can you read the Sun? I can't read the Sun.
I can't. It's behind a paywall, and I refuse. They're so slanted. Their heads are buried in the left side of the sand. It's not even. And I know that you used to work for them. You have an affinity towards them. I don't dislike them.
I have a lot of respect for Dave Nelson. Is that his name? David Nelson. Yeah, I really respect.
Kevin's
David
I don't even remember who runs it.
I was trying to remember if that was his first name or not, but it's David Nelson. Yeah. David Nelson is great. I have a lot of respect for the guy. I like the guy.
I did. I don't so much anymore.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think
And he's just stuck in a job. Yeah.
But I think he's stuck with what he can or can't do. They've slashed the budget so much. They're owned by Gannett.
Listen, I started losing respect when they laid off an entire department for, I think it was billing, right? And they sent it all overseas. And then they've gotten not progressively more and more to the left. They've always kind of been there. They've just you expect a newspaper to maintain some level of neutrality, and they present as neutral, the way a bull presents as a female cow. I had this conversation with her mom today, and we were talking about transgender issues and what is a woman and all that. It was like, I had seen the meme somewhere that said, go take somebody who's confused and doesn't know what a woman is and tell them to milk that bull and see how long it takes them to realize. And the crazy part is like, it's an issue I don't really care about. The only part of that issue I give a damn about is about kids and kids being allowed to do that kind of stuff. But you guys have all heard that, and I know we're going to get on the Tara Simmons topic in a second, but there were just some massive fines and agreements come to by some hospitals that spent an obscene amount of money and made an obscene amount of money by doing, quote, gender affirming care for children that were underage.
Yep.
And so we've heard for years, right? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. They don't do that. And I won't mention Holly's name because I don't like to prop up somebody that's so evil, vile, and hated. But it was really happening. It was really happening.
It was totally happening.
Yeah.
I was getting ads. I play Spider Solitaire. Okay.
No, hey, it's cool, man.
When I'm waiting,
Amber plays a bubble game, and that's all she ever does.
When I'm waiting for some appointment or whatever, I play Spider Solitaire.
Mm-hmm. You're sitting on the ferry, or no, I get
or
it.
the throne.
No. doing
No?
that.
Not,
No?
I didn't say no. I play
Oh.
solitaire on the throne.
I-
Don't
yeah.
bother me none.
Moving on. Anyways, and so I got from Seattle Children's an ad about gender affirming care
Oh, seriously?
from Seattle Children's Hospital, and I screenshot it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Are you 12 and want your breast removed?
And it was it was so sickening because this is spider solitaire. I mean, what are you looking for? And why are you advertising on
Yeah,
it?
no, that's a great question.
I don't think that's your market. But anyways, it was one of those things where I was like, okay,
Right.
this is really, really happening.
Right. Yeah.
Here's proof in
Absolutely.
the pudding.
Hayden Panettiere has died
What?
What?
at 36 years old. Cause of death.
Oh.
Cause of death has not been released. Thanks, Rick, for the heads up.
Wow, that's
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm who?
Hayden Panettiere.
She was
She was
in
on
Heroes.
Nashville?
She was on Nashville. Yeah.
She's been a
It couldn't
lot of
have been.
movies.
It
lost.
wasn't a natural death at her age.
No.
Well, she had announced earlier that she was dealing with some addiction issues and some postpartum depression. So there's a number of ways this thing can go. We're not going to guess, but
No, you how can
really
you?
sad though. At 36 years old, beautiful girl. Her younger brother had died in 2024 because of an undiagnosed heart condition. So let's not say that it couldn't be natural. It could be.
No,
if that's in her family, for
especially
sure.
if she had drug issues and she had an undiagnosed heart issue. It absolutely could have
Wow.
added to
Wow.
that.
How old are her
that's sad.
kids?
I don't
oh
know.
my gosh.
I don't know. So that this will come out in the coming days.
Save the cheerleaders, save the world.
Yeah, and that was the.
They did
I
save
think she
the
was in one of the
cheerleader.
Screams as well. Scream 6, I think she was in. So, yeah.
Anyway, just
So-
sad. Sad.
Yeah, sad.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. She signed over full custody of her daughter to her ex-fiance.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of water under that bridge, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, prayers out to her and her family, man.
Mm.
That's sad.
Nuts.
Speaking of sad, let's get back to the Tara Simmons issue.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
I know. I'm going to hell.
All right. So here's what we know. So she was fined for 3 different ethics violations at $5,000 a piece. The reason why that number is important, not a lot of money, especially when you've got clearly the disposable income that Tara Simmons has to go gallivant around the world, even though she works for nonprofits and
Considering
is a
the
state
rumors,
representative.
the well-established rumors we've heard about her and her gambling issues.
Yeah. $5,000 is the max that the ethics board can fine her. They also ordered her to pay for the cost of the state attorneys. I would imagine that might be more than $15,000.
You might be right about that.
I don't have proof to that. I'm just guessing, but I mean, I would imagine with what lawyers charge, it would be more than that.
Oh yeah.
So she was found guilty on 3 ethics violations, $5,000 a piece. She has said she's going to appeal, where she can, quote, finally be heard by a non-political entity lacking any personal interest in the outcome of her case, where the repeated violations of her due process rights will finally be heard. I think it's important to point out that the Democrats run all of these things because the Democrats run the state. So this ethics committee was run by Democrats overseeing it. So I think,
and can I point this out?
Hello, pot, meet kettle.
Yeah, I'd like to point this out. And for the Democrats that are listening to this, I don't see this as a Democrat issue. I think that it's just valid to point out that the people that are sitting on that board and everything are probably mostly, if not all, Democrats, right? Democrats have complete control of this state in pretty much every way that is meaningful. So it says something, right? That as a party, they say, yeah, this person has enough issues. We have to hold them accountable on X, Y, and Z. Because we look at what's going on with like Trump and the Epstein files, right? And one of the major things that we hear is his name's mentioned too many times. There's too much smoke there to not be fire, right?
Yep.
You can't say that about Donald Trump and then ignore that about Tara Simmons.
Correct.
Right? By the way, for those that don't know, the case that was brought up against Donald Trump on the fake electors dropped.
Yep.
Completely dropped.
So let me read this. This is what Tara got in trouble for. I just want to make sure we're speaking about
you read
facts.
that, and then I'm going to read a response out of the 23rd Legislative District.
Perfect. Okay, so the case revolved around Simmons' interactions with 2 nonprofit organizations, the American Equity and Justice Group and the Equity in Education Coalition.
Real quick question.
Yes.
Are either of those the ones she started?
So
No.
hold on. But
They're not, though.
But
Okay.
hold on. So the two violations are related to a $1 million grant that Simmons helped secure in 2024 to support an expansion of a public dashboard of criminal justice data created by the American Equity and Justice Group. The group was required to subcontract $500,000 of work with a nonprofit organization that advocates for equity in technology and education to provide the public with data on social determinants that impact education outcomes.
$10 if you can figure out what all that means.
Doesn't matter. the only subcontractor that qualified for that $500,000 subcontract. So again, the group was told as part of the grant, you have to outsource or subcontract $500,000 worth of work to some other subcontractor that had to meet really specific requirements to qualify.
And that was a very specific, that was very narrowly tailored based on what you just read.
Only one subcontractor qualified for that, and that was the Equity and Education Coalition. Simmons worked for that nonprofit part-time from December 23 until January of 25.
It's almost as
and
if
then
it was
3 additional months
for a reason
as an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to break this down for those of you yahoos in the 23rd that are still not eligible to think for yourself because Plausible for All hasn't blown enough sunshine up your ass to power that.
Pam Keeley, this message goes out to you.
Brought to you by Plausible for All. She helped to funnel money to a nonprofit that had to hire a subcontractor to complete $500,000 worth of the project. But the only subcontractor that met the requirements written into the funding,
$500,000.
the only subcontractor that could do it was the place where Tara worked.
The only one.
Part-time.
Oh, yeah, part-time. But again, connect the dots. Business has to subcontract. The subcontractor requirements are part of the funding. Only one subcontractor matched those requirements that were part of the funding that Tara helped to write in, and it's where Tara worked.
It's almost as if.
And it had to pay her salary.
Yes, and they were paying her salary.
It was spelled out.
And that wasn't her part-time salary of $120,000 a year, was it?
Yes, it was.
Part-time, $120,000 a year. Yeah,
I'd love to make
pretty good money
$120,000 part-time.
And listen, and the one thing that keeps coming up over and over again is she, as an elected representative, because she was allowed to go out and recruit money for a nonprofit she worked for, but she could not make any more money than she could not benefit any more than anybody else.
Right.
Important point of distinction.
So, in a June hearing, the Assistant Attorney General,
the hearing was in June.
By the way, Democrat. Julia Eisentraut, I assume she's a Democrat because the Attorney General is a Democrat, argued that Simmons' interest in securing the money through a budget proviso, even though it wasn't financial, conflicted with her official duties as a legislator. The Ethics Board agreed. They said that Simmons personally benefited because the grant funds supported the continued operations of the coalition and its ability to pay her that $120,000 annual salary. The second violation stemmed from what the board deemed Simmons' improper intervention in a dispute between the two nonprofits, the outcome of which preserved funding for the coalition.
She got paid.
She got paid because of money she routed through the legislature to a nonprofit who then had to outsource it to her organization that was the only one that could do it.
It'd be interesting to see how many people work for that nonprofit.
Well, take it one step. I'm going to make this really simple for you folks to understand. That would be like if I got elected as a representative.
Kevin's election.
Okay. And I said, Bob Ferguson is going to be required to do a podcast per this legislation that I'm funneling. But the podcast has to be completed by a Democrat, a Libertarian, and a Republican who operate out of a distillery in Port Orchard. Okay?
Yeah.
There is only one podcast that can meet that criteria, and that would be us.
Nail on the head.
You're going to pay that podcast $500,000 a year in order to conduct the podcast. So any podcast in the state could do it as long as they have a Democrat, a Libertarian, and a Republican, and they broadcast from a distillery in Port Orchard on Sunday nights from 7 to 10. Okay? Oh, there is only one. I guess that Outlaw Radio is going to get the contract. That is essentially exactly what Tara did. And we're not hypothesizing. That's what the ethics committee found her guilty of and fined her for.
Did you see the comment in the chat about who's on the ethics board?
Who is on the ethics board?
Be Jamie Peterson,
Democrat. Very left Seattle Democrat.
Yeah, Jamie Peterson, Lori Dolan, and Linda Wilson.
Okay, I don't know the other two, but Jamie Peterson, Uber Dem. It's not like they went like, hey, we have a Republican who's going to be on the ethics board that's going to decide this against a Democrat they don't like. Nope, it's Democrats.
And just for additional color, Jamie Peterson runs the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
He's the majority leader. He also, I would say, is probably a 70 to 75% leader of the Democrat Party in Washington State. Nothing happens without his stamp of approval.
And probably future governor.
For people that don't remember, he's the one who went public and said if a 14-year-old girl gets pregnant, she's old enough to decide what happens with her body. You can extrapolate that out that however you want, but if a 14-year-old is suddenly able to get pregnant, she, quote, can make her own decisions about her body. We need to talk about what you think is appropriate decision-making age, because that's insanity.
Yeah. He's probably future governor too. I mean,
die in a fire.
I'm just telling you, I think that's what they're
just stop talking about it.
I think that's what they're prepping him for.
I don't think so.
Because I don't think Ferguson's going to be in this seat nearly as long as Inslee was. And I think if Ferguson steps away and decides not to stay here, I think Peterson is
That'll
the guy.
Depend on who wins the presidential election.
You think so?
Yes.
I disagree.
Hold on.
With
Why
Kevin,
do you think
right?
why do you think it depends on who wins? If a
because
Democrat
if a Democrat
wins,
wins, I think he'll be seeking a national appointment.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, why do you disagree, Lori?
I don't think governor. I agree with Paul. I don't think governor is a goal, and to do governorship or whatever you want to call it in Washington State, he has to give up a lot personally. What he does in the private sector,
You think he'd be
He has
shooting
to
for
divest
federal?
himself from certain things.
You
Yeah,
think he'd be looking for a federal position on a
I
cabinet or
think
something?
he would divest himself on the private sector if he got a federal appointment. But
Yeah.
I don't think he would for a governorship.
Yeah,
At least I hope not.
And we're talking about a guy here who will sue you if you have a name like his. So, he has his own issues.
Ferguson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I don't have.
We don't need to. Let's keep the comments focused on the Tara
I don't
Simmons.
have an issue with the lawsuit about the name because we knew that the names were filed to confuse voters, and that is against state law. If it was
Kevin, we know the story, brother. I love
I
you, but
just-
we're running out of time.
You mean the
Fuck off! You go left turn every chance you get, and the one time I make one comment about something, you're like, you know what, Kevin, we're running out of time.
I was doing this in Tom's defense because you kind of blathered on about
And
that
by
to
the
him
way,
earlier.
don't you ever take my "I hope you die in a fire" comment and use it against me. I brought that to this
Fine.
show.
Okay.
I have copyright
You know
on
what?
that. You,
know
shut
what?
your
You're
whore mouth.
right. I will never say I hope you die in a fire.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say like I hope you die on the USS Indianapolis in a past life.
Oh wow!
I hope you die in a fire.
damn?
Yeah.
And you shut your whore mouth. Those are both my phrases.
You're gonna get eaten by
No,
sharks.
shut your whore mouth is
Shut your
mine.
whore
I've been
mouth.
using that for decades.
Okay, you didn't have it back.
It
Okay.
is, yeah. You
All
get,
right.
get
I've been
eaten by
using that for
sharks.
decades.
By the way, this is
outside
not a
the-
segue to Tara Simmons, but let's
No,
talk
keep
about
going.
Tara Simmons.
Yes, keep going.
Let's go back to Tara Simmons. So all of this has gone down. I want to read. Were you going to read the comment that I shared earlier on the Bainbridge Islanders group?
This was not from the Bainbridge Islanders group. That is
Oh,
not my
good.
comment. My comment
It's
was
a
from
fresh one.
Friends of the 23rd Legislative District.
Ooh, I haven't seen this one.
Spicy.
Well, this actual comment is from a supporter of Tara's.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
So is the one from Bainbridge.
Is the
So
name
is-
Farah? Is it from somebody named Farah?
No.
Okay, I have another one for Farah. I'll read after that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is what one of Tara's supporters put up in the Friends of the 23rd Legislative District. There is so much unfortunate misinformation, gossip, and downright mean talk about Tara Simmons on this group and others. To be under investigation is very, very stressful. And even worse when the allegations are false. So there's just a statement. The allegations are false. Okay.
Because somebody in a Facebook group said so,
Right,
let's just ignore
right.
the ethics board.
Oh no, this gets real good though. I'm just telling you, this is
Looking
good
forward
stuff
to it.
right here. Tara is bravely keeping her head up and defending
brave.
her integrity and reputation as an excellent representative in the midst of an election year and constant intense scrutiny. Justice does not always prevail, and she will continue to seek justice, and may she get it. Listen, I'm going to use that whenever they talk about Trump being a 34-time convicted felon. Hey, doesn't always prevail. Paid off a hooker. He had an affair. Anyway, yeah. Here's very important information that needs to be shared to provide essential details. Where did I lose my spot?
While you're playing that,
details.
Can I play some music under you while you're doing that? Because I think it really fits. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Is
Go
it
ahead.
copyrighted?
Go ahead. Go ahead, talk.
Okay. Here is very important information that needs to be shared to provide essential details and clear up all the confusion. Key points on the ethics ruling. Rep Simmons was offered a stipulation in October 2025 to pay a $2,500 fine. She couldn't accept that because it contained untruthful facts the board dismissed. Her only recourse was to request a hearing. She prevailed on several counts. The allegations about her using her position to get her friend a job was dismissed. The allegation about an improper campaign surplus donation. Whoops. Hold on. Your music totally threw me off here. Now I lost it. Yeah, it's gone. God dang it. The whole thing isn't there. Anyway, so that was what she said. She prevailed on several accounts. The allegations about her using her position to get her friend a job were dismissed. The allegation about improper campaign surplus donations was also dismissed. So anyway, this is a puff piece put out by a friend of hers within the 23rd Legislative District in an attempt to dissuade people from voting for Daria and to basically tell them, she's a victim.
Yeah, of course she is.
Right.
All right, let me read this. This is from Farah. This was posted on another Facebook group. And I'm just going to read this because this makes me giggle. This was clearly somebody who believed in Tara, supported Tara, and actually helped raise money for Tara. Let me read this to you. You lied to me, Tara Simmons. I believed you and so ashamed I voted for you and even organized a fundraiser for you at my home, at my Bainbridge home.
Fundraiser.
You promised me this was frivolous, but the Washington State Legislative Ethics Board just unanimously found you committed the 3 ethics violations you promised would be dismissed.
3 violations.
And that this was simply a witch hunt. Are you channeling the real man of genius?
Real man of genius.
They find you the maximum fine for every single one.
Max fine.
You said it would be dismissed, but I believe that you didn't abuse your position as our elected official to manipulate taxpayer dollars to a nonprofit that you worked at and retaliated against complaint.
You beat him down.
To any of our fellow supporters and those who voted for you like I did, wake up. I'm so ashamed.
Wake up.
Anyway, this is I'm sorry. This is glorious.
It's a come to Jesus moment for some people.
Yeah. And it should be. It should be. Go ahead, Paul.
Comments placed it again in the 23rd LD.
Okay.
This comment was made to our friend, Henny Baxter.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this issue with the ethics concerns are being used against Tara like they should.
We mean used against no, that's called accountability,
yes,
bitch.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm really, really fucking tired of people up dodging accountability.
See you next Tuesday.
No, I won't go that far. That's Beelers.
Yeah.
A shot heard around the county.
I mean, it's not.
So back to the comments to Henny Baxter. Unfortunately, this issue with the ethics concerns are being used against Tara quite intensively by her opponent in this campaign.
No, that's Tara being held accountable.
He immediately takes anything she thinks can be used against her. He immediately takes anything he thinks can be used against her and sends it out onto social media. I think it does that on its own. She's trying to slam on Daria, implying that Daria is responsible because he's her opponent. Because he sent her text. It has become a tool to undermine Tara in this campaign. I feel this violates the rules for civility.
What?
Because the thing she got found guilty of didn't.
Tara undermined herself, you moron.
It has become a tool to undermine Tara in this campaign. I feel this violates the rules of civility and is quite underhanded. It creates a political environment where Tara must defend herself should these tactics do harm. I think it's important to note Tara did the harm all on her own. It did not fall on her opponent to do that. And there are a shit ton of people that are talking about this very openly. Not Daria. I haven't seen him actually say anything.
No, he hasn't said shit.
Tara does not.
Doesn't need to.
Right. Tara does not seek to undermine. You're going to like this, Kevin. You ready for this?
Yes.
She finds she must defend herself. The opponent does seek to undermine. This has created, wait for it, a toxic campaign season. This is the real problem. This isn't a 50-50 problem. I not only support Tara in her campaign, I also feel it's my mission to help her shed light on the truth. And I will continue to do so. That's heartfelt.
The ethics board did just fine publishing their findings.
Yeah,
the truth is right there.
Yeah.
What the?
But that's the level of delusion, right? Now, don't get me wrong.
Is it really delusion, though? Okay, so let's go back to what we just said, 5 minutes ago? Dems control everything in the state. So is this Dem on Dem
crime? I love it.
Media violence. And so they are talking about how, the Dem leadership is basically turning Tara into a victim. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
But I agree with Tom. It's accountability.
It's accountability. All right, look.
I mean, let's go, Brittany, bitch.
Look at me, people. Look at me. When you do a thing,
Tom is channeling his inner K-Dog.
I am. I'm borrowing some K-Dog. When you do a thing, it doesn't matter. Yeah, bring it in close here. When you do a thing, you have to be responsible for the actions that come forth from the thing you did.
That's such a bad angle, Lori, by the way. Right.
I'm ugly. I mean, ugly. It's just.
Here is a positive post from those same group of people in the 23rd. I am relieved that this has been resolved. Everyone remember, this is a legal ethics issue, and Simmons has been found after a proper investigation that she violated ethical financial codes. Plain and simple, we should all hold our representatives to high standards.
Yes.
Booyah! A reasonable, rational Democrat.
Thank you.
Waking up.
Yes.
And here's the bigger issue.
Like accountability. Everyone needs to be accountable for their actions. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on, or if you don't sit on a side at all. You have to be accountable. Yeah.
And here's the bigger issue. If you go back to what Paul had read earlier, right? The folks on that our Tara supporters are saying things like, yeah, but what about this that got dismissed? And what about this that got dismissed? And they clearly reviewed the evidence and they saw that these are fraudulent, so they dismissed them.
Sure. Okay.
You can't claim both, though. You can't say, well, they reviewed the evidence on these and these got tossed because they care to review the evidence, but they didn't review the evidence on these three and they're fraudulent. We're going to fight them.
No, they reviewed the evidence on everything.
Yep. I would have a lot more respect for you schmucks up on Bainbridge and up in Paulsbo if this is what you said. The ethics committee found Tara guilty and she's been fined. She is remorseful and she's going to learn from this. She clearly did not intend to do anything wrong, but we understand the optics.
And I could have lived with that kind of a statement.
Yeah, I could have. If they had just said, we get it, we understand she made a mistake, we understand the optics, we still believe she's the best person for the job, blah, blah, blah. Right?
You know what it reminds me of? A husband sitting at home, picks up his wife's phone, scroll. Bitch, you're cheating on me. And she's like, how dare you go through my phone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
I wonder if you've been through that scenario, Paul.
Damn.
Ouch.
By the way,
Damn. It was a fucking dishwasher, man.
If you screwed around with a bar back, you might need to seek out some help. But listen, by the way, Paul, you're exactly right. This is guilt. This is guilt deflection, because you can't deflect what you've actually done, so you blame everybody else for it getting out.
Yes, it's the same shit Trump does.
Yeah,
he does the same damn thing.
And I'd have a lot more respect for Tara. Well, it would be hard not for me to have more respect for Tara because I got none now. Like the bar's set really low.
And I just want to point this out. There was one more comment made by them up there.
Well, can I finish my sentence?
This is for us.
I would have a lot more respect for Tara if she came out and said, "Hey, listen, I wasn't trying to do anything wrong.
Oops, I did it again.
I supported the budget and the bill the way that it was, and I thought we were doing the right thing. But I can see why this looks bad, and I promise I'm going to do better."
Yeah.
If she had said that, I would. It's not hard for me to have more respect because I have zero.
Because that's a rational, reasonable
Yes.
response from somebody that wants you. They want to earn your trust.
But her sitting there with her little fluff ball talking about how she's a victim and she's been a victim of society her entire life and people are picking on her and she's support Tara. You're a state representative that's been elected by the will of your own people. You had another state representative help you expunge your criminal history. You're not
only at the state level. Only at the state level. Only at the state level.
But you're not a victim anymore.
Only at the state
You're
level.
the ruling class. You're the group you hate. You're the bourgeoisie, Tara. You're the fucking problem.
Thank you.
So in that same group, they pointed out.
Sorry,
this was somebody named Chance posted on there. I won't give his last name.
Hi, Chance.
He said, "I want to point out Outlaw Radio told us there's a mole in the group feeding them information. I have my suspicion, but let's remember, we hurt the party and our candidates when we give such a quote. This is great. When we quote, give a fair and balanced news opportunity inside school." They're saying that we're I think that's balanced. Hold on, let me see. Let's remember, we hurt the party and our candidates when we give such a quote fair and balanced news program inside scoop on what is going on. It is the same reason we don't let media attend our meetings.
Are you shitting?
No,
He really said
Okay.
that?
Yes. I want you to take that and create a meme a GIF out of it that we can share. Here's what they're saying. Hold on, Tom.
Because they never say that we're fair and balanced.
Here's what they're saying. We don't want Outlaw to know what we're doing specifically.
Because they'll hold us accountable.
And there's more. And we don't want any other media outlet to know what we're doing because God forbid they shine light on the hypocritical, nonsensical BS that we're doing.
To quote a Democrat, heavily broiled in the stuff going on in the 23rd. And I will say this is a she pointed out to me, she said, "Paul, for that stuff that's going on in the 23rd, sunlight is the best disinfectant."
Yep.
How about some bleach? Can we get some bleach too?
Bleach works
I spoke to another woman who was far up.
Wait.
Within
You want to be more specific about that? We don't want to get you in no trouble.
I know.
Okay.
I spoke to another woman who was far involved in all the dealings on the Democrat Party up on the North End.
Okay.
And here's what they said to me.
Mm-hmm.
They told me people are terrified of Tara.
Yes, they're terrified of the group is what I was told.
People are terrified of Tara and the group because if they voice their displeasure about Tara, they're going to get ostracized, they're going to get hung out to dry, and people are going to try to kick them out of the spots that they're in because how dare they talk out about Tara. Listen, folks, this isn't democracy. This is not what local politics is supposed to be. This literally feels to me like Stalin.
It's fucking bullying.
But it feels like Stalin in Russia in the 30s.
Well, that's where the phrase political correctness came from, right? It came from the Communist Party in the old Soviet Union. Political correctness means, hey, this is the truth, but the political party wants you to say this. That's political correctness.
Yeah. And look, by the way, this isn't like we like Daria, but at this point for me, it's not even about Daria.
No.
I mean,
he's just running a campaign.
But he's a good guy running a good campaign. But again, I want to stress this is not about Daria. We were talking about this stuff with Tara long before Daria announced.
Yeah, that's why she ended up blocking us all because we were talking about this.
If Daria loses, which I hope for you schmucks up north he doesn't, but if Daria loses, we're going to be talking about this long after Daria's gone.
Yeah, we're not going anyway.
No.
But small reminder for our Democratic friends in the 23rd. We've been doing radio longer than you've been in the party.
Daria would actually be really good for the state, right?
You're
I mean,
right.
He's part of a bigger machine, but he would be a blue voice of reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
And,
you know what I think?
And just to point out to everybody who is either partaking right now in the show or will be in the future, Paul, I believe it was January of 2025 when you started asking the first questions about
Was that
Tara and the luxury suite
You
at
have
the
a much better memory
Seahawks
than I do about this stuff.
and everything else. And Tara did come on. You did have a chance to ask certain questions, and then after that, you know, it just was radio silent.
Yeah, because how dare we ask questions about our representatives are doing?
Yeah.
And by the way, we've had a history on this show of talking to representatives who are not afraid to answer questions.
Right.
Travis Couture will answer our questions. Dan Griffey will answer our questions. Jesse Young answered our questions.
Yeah. We've had great conversation with Gary Parker.
Greg Wheeler has answered our questions.
Matt Macklin.
Matt Macklin answered our questions.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
so this
it's
is
not
not a-
along party lines.
This is not a party thing. You know, what we want, here's what we want from you. In fact, Tom did it earlier. I'm going to do it again. Look at me. Look right here. This is what we want you to do. If you're going to run for office in Kitsap County, if you're going to run for office in our state, we want you to answer some general questions about what you're doing and why. That's not too much. You're a representative. If you treat the voters with respect, you'll get nothing but respect from us. Nothing.
And maybe votes.
Do I think that Travis Couture has voted on everything that I would have voted the exact same way that I would have voted? No. But
No,
do
you're
I,
a Democrat. He's a Republican. You're not
do
going
I-
to agree on everything.
Yeah. But do I love the fact that he'll answer questions? Yeah, that's what I want. That's all I care
That's
about.
integrity. That's relationship building. Those are the standards that we ask of our elected officials, right? It's kind of like the crap that Emily Randall spews out when she does her little almost daily posts, and 10 times in the last 4 months, right? She's been down at the detention center, and she always says, and I quote here, neighbors in the 6th congressional district in Washington want this, or they want that. It's bullshit. When you look at the chats, right? The other day, just out of curiosity, I added them up. 70% of the people commenting on her post were like, no, we don't like what you're doing. We don't agree with what you're doing. We think you're full of shit, right? Or some manner of that kind of like F off kind of stuff. I'm like, that is not all of your neighbors. You know, by the way, that when I started reading that quote earlier, I found the rest of it if you want me to finish.
Okay, this is relevant to what you just said. A comment in the chat.
Yes, go.
So apparently the 23rd Dems put out a directive on their page this afternoon, threatening members to avoid talking about Tara and sharing information or degrading her on social media.
See,
I
want
it's
you guys to
amazing
think
how
about that.
how
Yeah.
fast they are
It's
to
like,
limit your free
here's
speech.
what you're allowed to say.
Yeah, wow.
Fuck you.
Hey, if we can get a copy of that directive, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Only
One
because
of
it
our many-
violates Facebook's group policies.
Yeah.
Would any of our good moles that are within the 23rd and Paul's Vote for All?
There's 17 of you in that group, so
at least
1 in 17 chance. Can you guys send us a screenshot of that? We want to run that. We want to run that all over the effing place. Yeah, please do. That's great. Yeah, listen, she just got found guilty of ethics violation. She just got found, but don't you guys dare talk about her. That's stupid, because people up there are gonna want to talk about this. People are
and
going
they have
to
a fucking right to.
Yes.
Yeah. First Amendment speech.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey, that's okay.
So the last two bits, when I started reading it earlier and I lost the rest of it, I found it again, and this was a pro Tara Simmons response. And look, we're giving both sides of the issue. I'm reading pro Tara Simmons comments here. Okay. Rep Simmons will appeal this, and this is kind of comical right here, to a, wait for it, non-political court that has no personal interest in this case. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Just as the volunteer board of the Washington State Bar Association initially relied on bias and assumptions and made inferences to determine she didn't have the character and fitness to practice law, she feels more confident the truth shall prevail when she gets to a court of law instead of a very political volunteer board. They're all on your side, woman. They're all on your
Yep.
side.
They're all in your party.
Yeah. And this is the end of it. For Rep Simmons, this has always been about. Anybody have syrup of Ipecac? This has always been about the truth and her character.
Okay. Well, hold on. Can we help with that?
It has been her character.
Can we help with that?
And they go on though. I want your comment here, but this and the broader mission of showing that people are more than their worst mistakes.
What?
She takes the responsibility of fighting for second chances very seriously. And it's why she couldn't take a stipulation with untrue facts that the board agreed were untrue and allegations it dismissed. She looks forward to the rest of the allegations being dismissed with a more neutral decision maker. How neutral do you? They're not neutral. They're on your side.
The ethics board, I was reading, someone had put some stats in the chat.
Yes.
The ethics board is nine people.
Okay.
5 Dems, 4 Republicans.
Yep. And it was unanimous.
And it was unanimous.
Look, let me. I swear to God, I'm trying to let my inner Trojo. I can't. I'm now
be accountable.
Here's the deal.
That's it. Just be accountable. That's what voters want. That's what voters want from their political appointees. It doesn't matter what the job is. Be accountable.
Be accountable. Be accountable.
Yes. Tara is an advocate for second chances. Look, what about hold on,
5th, 6th, and 7th?
But I was just going to say, Tara, I appreciate that, but you're on chance number 12, and you continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. The number of people that have reached out to us. Look, I don't know all the people on the North End. I don't even go up there unless I'm going up to Sly's Bakery to get me a Viking cup or pick up some medication at the Viking Pharmacy.
You should see the 116 messages we got in the last month.
And they have really, really good apple fritters.
And here's the deal.
Yeah, they do.
We have people reaching out to us that used to be on Tara's side, that after they got to know Tara and work with Tara, literally had to drop the radiated waste away from themselves to save themselves. And we're going to bring some of them on the show in the next 45 days. We have a list of people that have reached out to us, literally a list. And we don't even have to go digging for this.
We don't have to ask them. They ask us.
You guys think, oh, these guys are on an anti-terror tirade and they're just trying to dig up scrap.
It's so bad. Some of them have asked for us to disguise, to the no picture of them and disguise their voice because they're afraid of they're afraid of you people in their own party. Coming back after them because they need to speak their truth.
But the theory that we're digging up crap on Tara, we don't have to dig up crap on Tara.
Nope.
We're like the Israelites in the desert and God is raining manna down to them. We don't even have to try. It gets delivered to us. This is like DoorDash for political conspiracy. Like all I have to do is go on the air on a Sunday night, mention Tara's name, and everybody from the North End is like, hey, let's give you some tea and some dirt and stuff. And by the way, normally I'm suspicious when people bring us stuff because my first thought is people are trying to make us look stupid. But when 15 people come out of the woodwork with the same story, it's not hard to believe it anymore.
Yeah, did you want cheese on that burger?
Yeah, do you want cheese on the burger? Yeah. We're literally, this is DoorDash. We're literally getting Grubhubbed right now. Okay?
I was literally driving home from vacation and got notified and asked if we would bring something up. So yeah, it's crazy. We're not digging. It's being brought to us.
And I'm going to say this to everybody on the North End, everybody who's a Democrat in the county. And that's everybody. That's big name folks. Like, what was the name of the chair that we talked about? What was her name?
Torrens, Val Torrens.
Val Torrens, it's you. Hanny Baxter, it's you. Every big name Democrat in the county, to every single individual person from the top to the bottom. The average person that are walking their dog that maybe votes in an election every once in a while. I'm going to call every single one of you out.
Stop. I'm going to get accused of having a hit list again.
No, it's not a hit list. What I'm saying,
this is what I'm being accused of up on the North End on Baber John. How's that hit list going, Paul?
Every single one of you, if you have an issue with Tara, if you have an issue with Paul's Vote for All, if you have an issue with the Bainbridge folks, if you have an issue with any of it, now is your chance to make noise. Now is not your chance to shrink back like a wallflower and hope that somebody else does it. When you're sitting in your kitchen at the table reading the news and you're like, oh my God, I hope Tara doesn't win. Look at these ethics violations. She has no integrity. We cannot support her, but I'm too scared to make noise. No, make noise. This is your opportunity to save your district and your state from people like Tara that are lying for the benefit of their own pocketbook at the expense of you, the taxpayer. This is when you stand up and say, fuck no, I've had too much. This is not going to stand. I don't care what party she is. I'm going to do what's right because my kids matter and my neighbors matter. My community matters, and this can't stand. And I'm not going to be so scared that the rioters in the North End are going to drag my name through the mud. I'm going to have courage and tenacity and a voice, and I'm going to stand up like they did in 1776, and I'm going to make some noise.
You should clean that up.
I will. Because I'm not going to go down like that. I am not going to let them bury me. I am not going to let them bury my community. I'm not going to be chicken anymore. I'm literally going to have a backbone for the first time in my political life, and I'm going to put my name to it, and I'm going to encourage everybody else I know that feels the same way to put their name to it until we become so many that they can't target one of us because they'd have to target all of us, and they don't have the resources to target all of us.
Well, he doesn't smoke pot, but he should probably start taking edibles after this.
We need you to become part of the movement, not the silently bitching. We need you to become part of the solution, not part of the silent problem. We need you to move, not sit.
Got to move it. Sorry.
All of you that reach out to us, like I love all of you. I really do. I'm glad that you are.
There's some wonderful people that have reached out to us.
But at some point, you have to have, Paul's phrase, the intestinal fortitude to stand up for what's right, take a little bit of a risk. Now, we'll take the risk every day because guess what? Paul's Vote for All can't do shit to me.
We're going to call the FCC on you.
Yeah, please do.
They already called the cops on you.
Please do.
Well,
And that was so much fun.
I honestly worry more about you guys as contractors and your reputation and all of that than I do. I'm a federal employee. You guys can't do crap to me.
No, you're brave because I don't know that I would go that far.
You guys
I wouldn't
can't do crap
advertise
to me.
that shit if I were you.
I'm just saying you guys can't do crap to me.
I'm going to piggyback for literally 1/20th of the time you just took for that rant, which is fine.
I just had to ramp. I'm so
No,
sorry.
you're
I'm so
fine.
pissed
Kevin,
off. Yeah.
on the desk, right here.
Yeah, you need to clean up that. You pounded the desk so
Here.
hard you
Right
spilled your water all over.
Stand up. You'll see.
Anyway, to piggyback off of what Kevin is saying, and then I'll give the floor to you, Todd. What kind of or Todd? The fuck is Todd?
I can be Todd. Maybe Todd. I can be Todd.
I could be Todd.
Is Todd our new radio host?
I'm sure.
By the way, message for Beeler. See you next Tuesday.
And let's do this, Kevin. Let's make that your final thought. This will be mine, and then we'll give Tom. But then you can play those voice messages. Okay.
Okay, and then we'll do parting shots.
So,
and then we'll do parting shots. We always end the show with parting shots, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to change the rules
Jesus
on this
Christ.
show. I am so wound up. Can we?
You're wound up tighter than. Well, I'm not going to say it.
Can we do 3
I'm not
more
gonna
hours
say
of
it.
this? I swear to God.
I got to work early.
Yeah, and I need to go home and get some.
I gotta work early.
So this is I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I'm sorry. I apologize. Nobody knows who I'm talking about. I'm going to leave that.
Sunday night delight.
Hold on. Tawny is leaving. She said she had treatment today. Tawny, I hope you're feeling better.
Yes,
I hope
Tawny,
that
you take
I
care
know
of
that
yourself.
Those treatments will kick your ass. So I hope you take care of yourself. And
Take care of you.
Please, Tawny.
we love and support
See what
you.
happens when you go on rants like that? You drive them away. Here's what I will say.
Well, we
love
tell some
Tawny.
supporters.
Well,
get driven.
what I
Tawny's
will
a
say.
fellow libertarian.
I have
I
talked-
adore Tawny.
I have talked to a ton of people from the Democratic Party in the
Why are you
North
putting
End
weight into this?
who have reached out to the show to be able to talk to us about the bullying tactics, the things that have been done to them up on the North Side, because they maybe for whatever their own reasons are, they don't support Tara. And I've heard a myriad of reasons and a lot of different reasons. And I don't even need to go over them all. You guys all know them. You've heard them a million times.
Just be honest.
You are seeing a trend in this country right now where the Democratic Party is being taken over by people going further and further to the left because that's what they think they have to do. You do not have to do that. Okay. To give you a great example, James O'Keefe's organization last week in Minneapolis went in to demonstrate when you go too far to the left. This is what happened. They went into the voting booths. He went in dressed as a Muslim, full garb. He brought 3 other people with him dressed in burqas. So their faces, they were unidentifiable. And you know what he was told? Anybody hear this story?
No,
Because it's not getting a lot of play right now.
No.
So he went in with cameras rolling, talking to the election officials. He was like, I'm new to this country. Okay. He was implying that he wasn't here legally. And they were explaining to him how he could vote. Bad enough, right? But he said he lived there in the community. He said, I have these 3 people with me. They're here the same way I am. Again, implying that they were here illegally. And you know what the election officials told him in Minnesota? He could vouch for them. They could get ballots and vote.
Wow, amazing.
And these are the same people screaming at the top of their lungs about how we don't need voter ID. I'm telling you, people, I'm not saying this about voter ID. I'm saying this about reclaiming your party, right? Whether it's a Republican or Democrat, the cross conversations about the issues, those are what matter. Those are what make the country stronger. You wouldn't be here us screaming at the top of our lungs about a supermajority controlling everything that went on in the state if our state was balanced to any degree. But your party and Jamie Peterson and the others within the Democratic Party in Washington, they want to even get rid of the initiative process, which is the one and only way the people have a chance to have their voices heard. The only way, right? Because one party does control this state.
Yep.
And your party has made it very clear that they don't even want to hear what the opposition has to say. Don't want to listen to them. They've now passed rules within the legislature in Washington state that they don't even have to let the Republicans get up and speak. Does that sound like democracy to you?
No.
That's right. It's not. You have a chance now. Small steps. It's the little things that we do that ultimately make a difference because they add up over time. You've got a representative in there right now that has shown beyond a reasonable doubt. And by the way, we haven't even touched on the ethics cases that are coming down the pipe against her.
Oh, so many.
Nobody's even talked about those, and we've done that on purpose, right? Until they're public.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, folks, you've seen the tip of the iceberg with Tara Simmons, and you're just now getting a feel for the way that she's behaving and the things that she is doing. She is a lifelong criminal who has found a way to still maintain her criminalistic activities, only under, you might think she's under more scrutiny, but she's not. She's under considerably less. So she is getting away from these things. We talked about the nonprofits that she combined her nonprofit in Washington with the same nonprofit in Nevada that she gave $30,000 to of taxpayer money. Well, not taxpayer. I mean, it's your taxpayers. It's your money, but it was your campaign donations.
So, and my problem with all of this is
okay. I'll help you with your problem, brother.
Well, thank you, buddy.
See, look at that, Amber. He's cheating on you already.
Yeah. My problem with all of this is I think this is something that Tara has taken from the playbook that is a much, much bigger picture. So it's not an isolated incident.
No, it's a national thing. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys want to, like keep the thumb on this candidate, this issue, these problems.
Yes, because it's how we feel we can make a difference. But go on.
Right, but I mean, the way we can really make a difference is saying, "Hey, this is the playbook from this group. Do you really want to keep voting like that?"
Yeah, I disagree with you at one level on that. If this was the same, then I don't think she would have even had ethics charges against her and they would have swept it under the rug. I think the fact that in a state where Democrats run everything, that they still hung her publicly in a hearing.
I think they had to.
And Kevin means metaphorically, people.
Well, yeah.
They hung her out to dry.
Hung her out to dry.
Very good.
Publicly.
It's a good thing we have a CEO and an HR representative here.
Thank you that you can speak K-Dog.
Should have heard him. Should have heard him last week.
The fact, yes, Tegan, it's 10-11. Shut up. The fact that they did it publicly and then they held her accountable for it would tell me that at some level this is more egregious, or they feel like it's more egregious than what is normal.
I don't know if it's more egregious necessarily. I think it's just more visible. I think
it got more visible because she chose to fight it.
I think the state party chose to do something because they didn't have a choice.
Right.
Otherwise it makes the state party look complicit.
Those ethics complaints are public.
In corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. I mean, but is she the only rep in this state or the only rep on the West Coast that I don't think so.
No, probably not. But to Tara, she's a bright lady and she knows how to play the system. You don't become a lawyer if you're an idiot. It is very difficult.
Yeah.
So she's smart. We give her plenty of credit where credit is due, and that girl knows how to funnel money.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
ask the casino.
Damn. Her first term.
Tara,
that's an accusation. I haven't been able to vet it because I can't technically
Tara,
get that information.
Can you and I go to the casino sometime? Will you teach me how to play some of those games? Because I know how to play a Pai Gow and blackjack.
I bet you'd like to get your platinum card up at Squamish.
I would love that. I would love that.
It takes 20 grand a month.
I have a final thought.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that while Tom, I understand where you're coming from. I think that we're here in Kitsap County. We really need to focus on this because in Washington State, we're not going to be able to go around to every county or every district and change everything.
Nope.
No, but she's clearly made friends down in Sin City.
Yeah.
Right.
But if
so
you
I think she's learned a thing or two.
Right. But if you try, right? I mean,
right.
Shoot for the stars, maybe hit the moon.
But Tom, how much time do you have to go to, I don't know,
None.
Clark County?
No.
Right.
Okay.
No.
All we can
That's
do is
what
go
I'm
off of
pointing
other
out.
people's
Yeah.
reporting.
None. I mean,
and so hopefully this drives a movement. I
Right.
get where you're going.
Right.
We
I
need
mean,
to change things.
yeah, I mean,
definitely.
By the way, one of our interior sources in the 23rd just sent me a message that said, "Hey Kev, the 23rd literally deleted all of today's posts. The last one is from a day ago."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they said they didn't want to say it publicly because if they knew it was from this person, then they would retaliate against her. And so there you go. Because they're scared. Look,
I wasn't done with my thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted
Thanks.
to share that because I came in. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what I'm getting at is we have an opportunity right now to get the truth out about Tara. And I'm going to point out what Paul was suggesting as well. If you look at the makeup of the ethics board, it's lawyers. And 5 of them are Democrats and 4 were Republicans. Who do you think ran that when one of them was Jamie Peterson?
Oh, it was Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Peterson, there's a lot of, I'll just say Looney Tunes. I'm just going to say it that way.
Yeah.
What's up,
far left progressive stuff that's happening. And a lot of it just goes and goes. I think that, Jamie Peterson, probably Lori Jenkins, if she's still in control on the House side.
On the House side, I think she is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they've gotten to a point with Tara that they're like, hey, we have to do something.
And to what you just said.
Because if we don't, will something else happen?
So Lori
Something
Jenkins is
bigger.
the Speaker of the House in
Right.
Washington, in Olympia.
Mhm.
Who's the Speaker pro tem?
Tara
Simmons.
Tara Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's
I
a
forgot
lot of
about that,
power
yeah.
wrapped up there in that little. And by the way, Tom, to your point earlier, here's a couple of cases nationwide. Former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan sentenced in June 25 on federal bribery and wire fraud charges. New York Attorney General Letitia James indicted in October 25 on bank fraud charges. Dana Williams, former aide to, as she was when she got busted, top aide to California Governor Gavin Newsom, arrested in November 25 on 23 counts of bank and tax fraud. Let's not forget, Tara Simmons is behind on her taxes to the point where she had to list it. Former New Mexico State Rep Cheryl Williams Stapleton found guilty in August 2026 on federal corruption charges. So to your point, yes, it's a playbook that's going around.
So my problem with this whole thing is, like you, I'm a small business owner.
And you mean me? Okay, I got
Yeah,
you. You said
like-
like you. I thought maybe you were talking about Kevin.
No, I was talking to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Paul has a small business. Yes, he does.
Wait,
Amber.
wait, Kevin. Whoa.
I'm a small business owner, and I can't
So is
afford.
Kevin and Lori.
That's true because they own the show. Yeah.
I can't afford the tax rate for my business to like deal with all of this, pocket lining corruption bullshit.
Right.
It's like my business can't afford it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I struggle really goddamn hard to feed my family and keep a roof over my
Yes,
head.
because you're trying to do everything right.
Right. I'm trying to do everything above board because if I don't, the state comes in here and sticks their finger in my ass.
Yeah.
And
You
I
get
don't
a
want to
nice
finger my ass.
colorectal exam.
Right.
Paul's
So
like boot camp.
I'm just.
Tom, you have every right to be pissed off about it.
I am.
Yep.
And I just want people to get off their ass and vote.
And
right?
not
I
only
don't care
that-
how you vote. I'm not telling you who to vote
Right.
for. I have faith that the average person has enough common sense to look at what's going on and go, oh,
There is
well,
something though in the magnetosphere that is the more north you go on this peninsula, it clearly affects your ability to think.
But no, along Tom's point, I mean, everybody should vote, but before you vote, research.
Yeah, but
don't just look at what their YouTube presence says or what their website says. Look at news reports, even if they're biased. Look at their voting record if they're an incumbent.
Yes, voting.
Don't even listen to us.
Yeah, don't
vet the stuff that we say.
Right,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin, you have those 3 voicemails you wanted to play. Some people called into our voicemail line.
One just really quick feedback as well. If Tara survives this,
then we know.
Well,
it's going to get worse.
I agree, Tom.
She's shown that she's vindictive. She's
Yeah.
shown that she has a memory. Can you imagine how much more conflict we could see? Because now she's going to have an issue with Jamie Peterson. She's going to have an issue with these other Dems that didn't back her in the ethics stuff. This could lead to more fracture in the state too. I mean, I really think that this could become an even bigger problem.
It's very possible.
But
You're
does
right.
this open the door for the GOP or for more moderate?
Yeah, I'm with Tom. I don't think it will because I don't think. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
It's going to be an issue within the party, though. I think it's going to be interior infighting.
I hope there's some truth to what you're saying. I mean, I hope that it does open the door for some GOP reps, because if Tara loses her seat to Daria, then I think that shows the other Dems in the 23rd and the 26th, and likewise that they're vulnerable if they don't stick to the straight and narrow.
Yeah,
if it only has the effect of causing people to say, "Oh, stop fucking around," okay, so be it. Anyway.
I think one thing we're forgetting, there's more coming.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, tip of the iceberg. Remember, iceberg, the tip is the only thing you can see at the top. Underneath
just the tip,
is
baby. Just the tip.
Yeah.
Paul.
What?
and by the way,
the iceberg is really the substantial, massive girth is underneath
the
water.
And by the way, if you look at Tara Simmons' reelect Tara Simmons page, she's not acknowledging this at all. She's posting things about her meeting with the tribe and some other stuff, but she's ignoring this because she thinks y'all are stupid. Okay. Really quick voicemails. We got 3 this week. If we're going to continue to this, you guys need to leave voicemails throughout the week so we can get some really good ones. I have not listened to these.
Oh, you have not?
No, I did kind of, because the voicemail the voicemail system that we use does give some text, so I kind of skimmed it, but it doesn't show the whole thing. So if this goes badly, I'll screen them next time.
Well, listen, it's okay. I'm prepared. I can take it. I'm a big boy.
Outlaw.
I got my
after
panties
hours.
on. Yeah.
Here's our very first voicemail.
Like, hey, we need 2 giant sandwiches, extra meat, extra cheese, extra pickles. Right. This is Outlaw Radio. Like, Outlaw Radio? Wait, Kevin? Dude, is that you? Did you start selling sandwiches? Like, hold on. I called Highway 420 first. I asked for brownies. They started talking about strains. So I hung up and called the sandwich shop. Well, apparently what? Like, okay. So Highway 420 has weed. Kevin has a radio show. Who the hell has my sandwich? I'm really wrong. Like, Scoob, I'm starting to think Kevin has my sandwich. Hi, Kevin, buddy. If you're listening, put extra bacon on it. Run roast. Like, right? Pickles. Wait, are we still talking to the dispensary?
This voicemail is everything I hoped our first voicemail would be.
I'm just going to say this for the person that sent that voicemail. We hypnotized Kevin. He's not gay anymore. So,
all right. So that's, again, call and do whatever you want to. Like,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
All right.
That is everything I hoped our first voicemail would be.
That was great. That was great.
Well, Kevin's gay ex-lovers.
I hope we get more phone calls from Shaggy. That's great. By the way, again, if you want to leave voicemails for us, we'll play to the next week. The voicemail phone number, 360-347-6792. 360-347-6792. Here's
and Black Tom strongly encourages you to go see our friends at Destination Highway 420 and
Like
get your
caller.
and get your favorite something
brownies
and partake before you call us.
All right, here's voicemail number 2.
Hey guys, I'm watching you guys right now with Dave McMullen on, and I have to admit, it's nice to hear somebody finally recognize that not all Democrats are wackadoodle. We do understand that it's about compromise and understanding, and we're looking to do better.
That's a righteous call.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. I love that. And you know what? And that's what this show's about. That's what the voice line is about. Let your voice be heard. You don't have to give your name. It can be completely anonymous, but you're getting your opinions and your thoughts out there. And listen, this entire show is dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and that's to have the conversations, get them going. You guys can finish them and complete them. We're never going to tell you who to vote for. We're just going to try to educate you.
Just going to ask you to please vote.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Please.
Here's voicemail number 3.
Please.
I am listening to the show. I'm listening to it right now, and Dave McMullen is on.
That's number
and
2.
Unfortunately, we're watching it on my big screen TV, and I don't have the internet chat feature. So I have to express my opinion quickly. I am very familiar with this situation and with what he's talking about, and I have to agree and disagree. Let me tell you, as a Democrat, there is not a single Democrat I know that will tell you they support a criminal, ever. And that's the big mistake. But beyond that, it's not about terror, it's about values. It's about no longer being party, but more about being coalition, recognizing our importance as party members to keep the truth as our goalpost. That's what we're shooting for. This is Jerry.
Appreciate you, Jerry.
So I don't think he's a terror fan. That's what I got out of that.
Well, what I got out of him, and listen, I would say that I disagree on one point, right? He says that most Democrats or no Democrats he knows would vote for a criminal. You did. A lot of you. Enough to get her reelected multiple times. So.
That may not be his sphere. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you got to give him his.
I give him his props. I love that, dude. And Jerry, if you're listening, set a time up, man. Come in, sit on the couch.
Yeah.
I'll make you a drink.
Yeah, just come and let your opinion flow, man. No political correctness here. We just want to be able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I get the voicemail line 360-347-6792.
Like, hey, we need 2 giant sandwiches, extra meat, extra cheese, extra pickles.
I hope this dude's stoned out of his goddamn mind. I hope he is.
Kevin? Dude, is that you? Did you start selling sandwiches? Like, hold on. I called Highway 420 first. I asked for brownies. They started talking about strains. So I hung up and called the sandwich shop. Like, okay. So Highway 420 has weed. Kevin has a radio show. Who the hell has my sandwich? I'm really phoned. Mike Scoob, I'm starting to think Kevin has my sandwich. Hi, Kevin, buddy. If you're listening, put extra bacon on it. Run Rose. Like, right? Pickles. Wait, are you still talking to the dispensary?
I all right. Listen.
That is. It really is. That is everything I hoped our first phone call would be.
I mean, I have no words, but Kevin, since you started playing ball for our team, it's probably best to not have your old lifestyle friends calling into the show. And listen, this is coming from a guy who was 50 years old before I figured out why there was smoke rolling out of the Scooby-Doo mobile, okay? So...
valid question from Lilac before we wrap.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Tom.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does it feel that you voted for a criminal?
Well, I think that's a very valid question.
I agree. I would agree.
Right.
I did not vote for a criminal.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Tom didn't vote for Trump. So.
I did. Kevin, you did.
I did too.
So the question would probably go to both of us. And I would say this. I think that there were 2 levels to that. One, it was very disappointing. But on the other level, I did personally take a very hard look at what the accusations were. And for example, with the crimes in New York, the quote unquote financial crimes, there was no overall crime. They literally had to change the rules in the state legislature in order to be able to charge him. Mm-hmm. And I find it very disingenuous. It was a clear attempt to try to force him out of running for president again, because they had this mindset that well, if we can make him a criminal, maybe not as many people will vote for him and we'll have a shot at winning. Because I think the Democrats recognized that at that time getting Joe Biden reelected was going to be a tough road to hoe. So but nonetheless, and I think the crime about him paying for, or however he chose to pay for it, Lori could explain it easier than I could. He didn't pay for it, but his funds, I don't even know if they were his campaign funds or where the money came from. I was under the impression Chuck just cut a personal check.
Are you talking about Daniels?
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, because here's the reality that you could name off so many politicians that have paid to keep things secret. And this just chose to be an issue that they decided they were going to try to prosecute Trump for. And nobody can disagree with the fact that Judge Ober, whatever his last name was, but dude that seriously looked goofy all in his own right, had his own axe to grind. Remember, his daughter was either running the campaign for somebody that was anyway. There were a lot of too many political connections there, and it was really sketch. I mean, if you wanted to go after Trump for plenty of other things, I would have a lot more. I would give them a lot more credit. It's like the fake electors charges that were brought up against him. I hate to break it to you guys, but that's been done in Washington state too. Mm-hmm. So it's been done. It's been done by a lot of people. And remember, a slate of fake electors happens all the time on many different political levels. Yeah. We had people here in Washington state in 2016 that were from the Electoral College that put their votes out for people that weren't even on the ballot. Okay. So there's lots of stuff that can be presented in ways to the layperson that we just aren't going to understand. But because of the way laws and rules are written, there's so much funky shit that goes on, just so much. And while it was disappointing, I also recognize what the charges were about, and they were about preventing him from running for president.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My response will be, I don't know why the question would go to me, because I've never had an issue with voting for somebody who is a felon one way or the other. I think it all has to be decided on a case-by-case basis and determined as such, right?
And that's not the issue with Tara that we're talking about. We say it because of how she went about having her record expunged, right? Mm-hmm. Wrote a law that she didn't write the law, but she supported the law that allowed her to do that, and then had her seatmate do it for her. Yeah. And then promptly let the law expire. Yeah. Thus preventing other people from doing the same thing. So I'm going to call her a felon because her record got expunged, she's still a felon in my book.
Yeah. Only at state level.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me, the issue is continuing the behavior, right? So felon or not, I don't care. What I care about is what is the behavior? What are we seeing? And to me, it's just an ongoing perpetual motion of, she's claiming she's a victim in everything that she does, and yet she's part of the ruling class and the bourgeoisie that she supposedly says she hates, and benefiting from her status. I'm going to coin
to our credit,
phrase.
We brought her on as a convicted felon.
Yeah.
And had very, very good positive conversations with her. And she was adamant that behavior, that part of her life was done. It was over with. It's not.
She has terror privilege.
Mm-hmm.
She has terror privilege.
Yep.
And you guys should be pissed off about the amount of privilege she's using, because if
That's a good point, Kevin.
If a white man used that same privilege that Tara's been using, you guys would be screaming about it as white male privilege. Tara is exhibiting privilege now. She's no longer part of the oppressed. She's part of the of the class. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Good question, Lilat.
Okay. Let's wrap. Any thoughts, Lori? Parting shots. And by the way, Lila, I know you're putting other comments in here, but it's 10:30. We got to wrap. But use the phone number, Lila.
Yes, absolutely, Lila.
347-6792. Leave a message, and we'll play that. We'll play that on the show next week, as long as don't make it too long. We have a show to do.
And feel free to reach out to Kevin if you want to come in again in the future.
Yeah.
That's right. An open door
Lori,
to you.
Parting shots.
Parting shots. Gosh, it's getting to be the end of summer. Enjoy. Enjoy. If you are a back to school shopper for kids, sales are ongoing right now in Washington State. Please, choose wisely. All that good stuff. If you are a family in need, please check out Doc Blackwell.
Oh,
Doc
yes.
loves the kids.
Great point.
Doc Loves the Kids Day is next.
Is it next
I think
weekend?
it's next weekend.
We should find out because if it's not, we should get him on before to promote it.
Yeah.
I have to double check the calendar, but
reach out to him, Tom.
Doc Loves the Kids is really a great community. I would almost say like a community get together. I mean, I know it's more to support kids and their families going back to school and all that. But when we went last year, I mean, it was a blast.
Oh, there's
absolutely.
I mean,
is he
all
doing
the
it down at
bounce-
Lions Field again this year?
I'm not sure.
I
all
believe,
the bouncy houses.
yeah, the bouncy houses and
and
the
the
guys.
music.
Yeah, there's music. The guys roll the grills out there and they do
Mhm.
burgers and hot dogs. And
I'll look it up. We'll find out.
There's-
I'll do a short and I'll put it on.
Yeah,
the
and I think there was face painting and
face painting
Backpack,
and
school
and-
supplies.
yeah, backpacks
Yep,
and the school
shoes.
supplies, shoes.
Yep.
When
I thought there were haircuts too. Yeah.
I was just going to address that. When Doc can get barbers and hairdressers to volunteer, there's
Oh,
haircuts
okay.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But getting staff to
Right.
do the haircuts and stuff, that's a
That's
challenge.
hard. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
on a Saturday afternoon right before school starts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get
When
it.
they're
I get it.
busy. Yeah.
Yep. So, okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Lori. My
No. Anyways, as we're going through the last days of summer, please make sure that you're also checking for the kids that are riding the bikes or the e-bikes or the e-scooters. You're checking before you go out into traffic on motorcycles, that there isn't a motorcycle who has the right of way going straight ahead of you and all that.
When-
so please double check that.
And on the motorcycle front, I know around here,
Mhm.
there's a distinction between an electric motorcycle and an
Mhm.
electric bicycle.
Right.
But I don't think everyone's got that yet. So there are some untrained
Yeah, because
13, 14,
under so many
15-year-olds.
CCs, they don't need a license and all that other stuff.
Right. Well, if there's no pedals on the vehicle, it's not a bike.
Gotcha.
It's a motorcycle.
Mhm. But
And-
if
and
there's pedals,
then it's a bike.
yeah.
Right.
But those bikes can go 28 miles per hour?
I've been on one that does 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And you put a 14-year-old untrained, driver on one of those,
Mhm.
they're stupid.
Yeah.
Look out for them because they're not looking out for you.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, anyways, be safe, be careful, and go get your discounts on your shopping.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Lori. Tom?
It's election season. I'm just going to keep beating my get out and vote drum. The problem is I know that most of the people that are hearing this, they're listening to a political talk show. They probably vote. Man, encourage the people around you
Amen,
to
Tom.
vote. Do your civic duty. Do your due diligence.
Hell, use peer pressure.
Yeah, do what you got to do. Get people off their ass and go vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I mean, vote what you think is right. If you think the state's doing great and everything's all roses, then keep voting the way you've been voting. If you think things need to change, then you got to change. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. So change is hard. I get it, but please vote.
You know what happens when you do nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
That's right.
All right. Paul, pardon you.
Yeah, I've got about 6 pages here. I wrote. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That
Just- I
side
know.
eye just came
I know,
out.
I know. I just listen. All I will say is because Lori's now depressed the shit out of me by talking about how it's the end of summer. I mean, we're
Sorry.
not quite there yet.
No,
a couple
but-
more shows,
Close.
and we got a D-Derby race to knock Kevin's ass out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, and
I-
summer's not over until the end of September.
That's right, that's right.
Technically, I'm just talking about the
For kids and
traditional.
yep,
yeah.
Yep. You're
Back
not
to
wrong.
a routine.
You're
I'm
not
hoping
wrong.
for a little bit of Indian summer,
Me too.
some nice warm October,
Well,
maybe.
that's what I'm going to leave with my final comment. So
Mhm.
we're sitting down today with Amber and her parents and was reading through the NOAA report coming up for this year.
Mhm.
We are going to get hit by the biggest El Nino they've ever seen. which for most of the U.S. is going to be a warmer than normal winter, wetter and warmer. For whatever reason,
That's what she said.
Washington is not included on that list. California, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, Arizona are looking at higher than normal snow levels, but Washington State's in that weird Goldilocks zone where they didn't really say, well, we think it might be more snow. Anyway, bottom line is they couldn't really say shit about Washington, but as for other states, they're going to be warmer and wetter, except for the West and the Southwest United States, which are going to get more snow than normal. So,
but we're going to get less, right?
What didn't say it literally left Washington off the list in its entirety and never explained anything about Washington.
But normally,
Washington weather is weird.
But normally, when there is an El Nino,
yes, usually it affects us.
But we usually get less snow.
But it's about the weather patterns, and because they're going to get. I mean, they said they're going to get more snow this year, heavy snow, much more in Oregon and California and stuff like that. But again, Washington wasn't mentioned, so and I mean, it's not like NOAA's stationed here on Lake Washington.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's all. That's
okay. This won't be long. You guys know who Jaden Daniels is, right?
Mhm.
Quarterback for the Washington Redskins,
Mhm.
Commanders, whatever they call them now. Anyway, he is threatening litigation against LSU, the college he went to, because he wore number 5 in LSU, and now he believes that no other player should ever have number 5. Because he owns his own name, image, and likeness. And since he was the quarterback of LSU and did really well for them, that should be his number forever.
So he expects them to retire.
That would be
the
a
number.
precedent-setting lawsuit.
It would be, so now it's not uncommon for colleges to not put numbers for really high-profile athletes on another player for a long time.
Right.
Like
Reggie Bush.
I don't remember.
At USC.
I don't remember who the other quarterback, but there was another quarterback. Oh, Joe Burrow at LSU, same school, but nobody's worn his number since he left college. But the quarterback that is playing for them this year, when he was recruited, he was promised he could have his high school number, which turns out to be number 5, and so they gave him his number. I think it is insanely ridiculous for any player to be like, "That's my number."
Yeah, there's only so many.
Number 5 is my number. Like, other players had that number before you, schmuck. Like, theoretically, under your argument, nobody should have that. I think it's a really dangerous time in college athletics.
It is. There's a lot of stuff up in the air.
With the transfer portal, the fact that Congress won't get involved in regulating it, the NIL deals, all of it. I think if you're a college football fan or a college sports fan, you better enjoy it now. Because I don't know if in 5 years it's going to look anything close to like what it looks like right now.
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
And I'm a huge college fan. Anytime I can watch the Huskies beat the fuck out of Oregon or Wazoo makes me happy.
Amen.
Oh, are you a Coug fan?
No.
Oh, you're a Wazoo fan?
No.
Ducks.
Why'd you give me the double finger then?
Ducks.
Because you said Oregon. She's a Ducks
you're
fan.
an Oregon
Ducks.
fan?
Her family's all from down in the Willamette
Bandwagon rider. Nice. Set that bar low. Hey, do you know why there's a big O in the middle of the Oregon Ducks football stadium?
You're going to get your ass beat.
It's the number of national titles their football team has won. 0. I know. All right. That'll wrap up the show, guys. We love you again. Thanks to Destination Highway 420, our big sponsor for the show. Check them out on Hollis Street. Tell them K-Dog sent you, even though he has no idea what really happens when you use their product. Thanks to Black Ring Spirits, where we do the show. Thanks to Evergreen Grace, Kitsap Glade Escape, Admin a la carte for all the background stuff you need on your website's online presence. Reach out to Admin a la carte at admin-a-la-carte.com.
Pacific Northwest Funding.
What's your other? Go Kitsap Paintball Park.
Yep.
Shoot your boss in the nuts. It's fun. And anybody else? Evergreen Grace Cleaning Company. And we have so many sponsors now. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Makes it easier to get new gear.
But most of all, I really want to thank Paulsbo for all that you do for us.
All that you do.
The promotion of the show. Everything that you do for us to make us what we are.
We love your hatred.
23rd LD Democrats. We love you guys. We appreciate you so much. It's been Outlaw Radio Network, a presentation of outlawradionetwork.com. If you like the show, share it. Be a friend, tell a friend. If not, act like we were never here unless you're Terrence Simmons. And then guess what? We're not going anywhere. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday.
Peace, chus, bis beta, adios, muchachos.
Outlaw Radio Network.com.